You're now listening to TF4 Podcast with Kara,
I know that boobs and butt cheer Mark up.
Natasha,
And then I get in my car and I fart and I'm like, wow, that smells really bad.
Vaux,
I tooted, excuse me.
and myself, Marcus. I don't know this guy, but he's got a great dick.
You doubled down on that deafness.
You proved it to me.
You really showed how deaf you are.
If there was ever a doubt ever in my mind that you were deaf, it is gone now.
What?
Yep.
I love that a well-timed
If you don't
what
think
can
he's
make
deaf,
sense.
wait till you hear him sing.
Right?
Yeah.
There are some that I'm actually pretty good at, but anything.
Oh, I think I moved my camera a lot.
Nice
Hold
job.
on.
Anything by
Oh,
a
God,
female
it's
singer, I'm usually awful. Clara, you fucked it all up.
It's fine. Vox only worked on it for like 10 minutes before we sat down. It's good.
Yeah. It's because all the D&D stuff got
Well,
moved
you
over
you
here.
hit the
You want to
tripod.
hear something
and
really
you made the
funny
tripod
about D&D?
collapse.
Actually, it's not exactly about
actually
D&D.
funny?
It's just D&D adjacent.
Okay.
So we went out drinking before my birthday with some friends from work, and when we're standing outside, I had smoked a fair bit. And
Kara
he
smokes now,
smokes,
by the way.
Yeah,
What a
I don't know if
fucking
I've
heathen.
said that, but he smokes a lot, like all the time, has been for a very, very long time. So he just starts talking to himself almost, and he was like NPC, and I was like, what? He goes, that guy's totally an NPC, and I'm like non-playable character, like D&D style. He's like, well, kind of. He goes, my sister and I have this thing, and what happens is like when we're out in public and stuff, and we see somebody that like is almost like a duplicate, because like in a game there's only a set amount of types of characters that you can come up with, so eventually you have to duplicate them. So they point them out in public, like who they think this guy is an NPC of, like somebody that they know in real life, and they just assume that their life is probably like a carbon copy of this other person's, because we only have a limited amount of options.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy, but
That is
literally,
such a weird
I
way
was
to
so
think.
high. I was like, oh my God, my mind is fucking blown. And I told Mark not to let me forget about it, because I wanted to think about it later on, and it still kind of trips me up a lot.
And the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, it's kind of dumb, but also probably true.
but
Like
yeah,
there's probably a lot of us that have lived such relatively similar lives to where we're the same fucking shit show.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of the time I'm like relating people to people I know. I'm like, oh, that person looks like Mark, or oh, that person looks like Kara, or like
Yeah.
that couple reminds me of like how Mark and Kara are. Like it's just, I don't know. I'm always relating people to people that I know.
That couple
Yeah.
reminds me of Mike and Kyle. Why? Because they're gay? No.
It's a good thing. That,
Why?
it's a good thing they don't listen to this show. Big yikes.
Even
no,
if
it's
they
just
did,
like
they'd laugh.
personality things that
You
just
gotta
like
fix your mic.
What's wrong with it?
It's literally in front
It's
of your
in front of your
in your
entire
face.
So?
This is an audio.
Extend
Or
her
the-
camera.
this
Her
is-
camera needs to be higher.
So it
Get
looks-
that downward
I
angle
was saying,
that
so it
women
looks
love
down
so
on
much.
her, so she's angry about it.
No, it looks
women
better
love
why
when
the
not?
it's
Everybody
downward
else
angle.
looks down on Tosh.
I know, right? It'll be more
Wow.
realistic.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, there you go.
No, you're really
Now
up
mine. Now do mine.
There. No, yours is perfect.
No.
Oh, Kara really
Yeah.
likes the downward angle.
I look like a
It's hi-
fucking
it hides her
Vulpix with my
second
hair up
chin.
like this.
Well, I mean, that's your fault.
I did.
Well, the people that are watching on YouTube, you can see this, but the people that are listening, well, you should be watching on YouTube. Welcome to TF4 Podcast. My name is Vaux.
I'm Marcus.
I'm Kara.
And I'm Natasha.
Been a minute. It's been a long minute, actually.
been-
Uh-huh.
When was the last?
You guys.
Well,
Your
no, we
episode
had the
before
last time.
Travers.
Yeah, the last time we all were at
Early November.
was it? No.
No, because our trip was early November.
Yeah, and we were in Florida for Halloween, so it was before Halloween.
It's been a while.
Wow.
October.
Mid-October.
It's been a long
And
time.
That's because that's
Shouldn't
the
have left you.
that's the episode that I said A or C is for Apple. And
I am
is
totally.
for-
I literally am sending her the style of shirts that I want. She's printing them for me.
C is for Apple.
Yes. I'm getting a baseball tee that says that on
You
it.
gotta
I
put
love
you
it.
gotta put TF4 on there so people know that
I
you're just
will.
not
I'll
going
send her
crazy.
the logo.
I feel like
No, I want them to think that we're going crazy.
I feel like on the back it should say C is for Apple again, but with the apple crossed out, and it should say cunt.
Oh, probably not.
Now I gotta get one for D&D too that shows our D&D session, and it quotes Mark going, "Fuck the dirty people."
That was above table.
Yeah.
Sure.
Jesus.
Tell
I
us
love
how
that you
really
posted
feel.
that on your Snapchat. Fuck the dirty
I didn't wanna
people. March
forget. I would forget.
2021. It was totally out of context. Very rude.
Well, yeah. But your character's a little bit of a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My character's nice-ish.
Lots going on in the world now. You got hating the dirty people and hating the schools and
Oh God.
I'm just
There's a lot of
ready
hate
to-
in the world.
just-
Yeah.
I'm just
There is a lot
ready.
of hate
I'm
in the
ready
world.
for I'm ready for a new version of this.
For somebody
Hard
who hates so many
reset.
things, though, you don't feel more comfortable.
Here's the thing, though, and that's really funny that you said that because someone else asked me that yesterday. Because I said, I'm pretty sick of the negativity. He's like, you're the most negative person I've ever met. Like, how can you be sick of the negativity?
Who said that you're the most negative person?
Rick,
I don't feel like you're the most negative person.
you don't know
ever.
me at work,
Okay, but I know you.
but you don't know me at work. It's not. It's
Work
two different
box
He's
and
not
home
much
box
nicer
are different
around you.
boxes.
It's two different things. Anyways, regardless of the fact of you not believing that Rick
Nobody
said that
at
to
work looks like you, so.
me, that's true. It's only fun when I'm the negative one. If everyone else is negative around me, I don't want to be any part of
Right,
it.
if everyone else is a downer, it's less fun.
Yeah, man, like, go-
I realized that. At
I
work,
want to
too.
put you down.
Like,
if you're
I bring the negativity to
Yeah.
this party.
if
We
you're-
can't have 4 dishes of
Let
negativity.
Let me be the one to make the suicidal jokes at the party, okay?
I'm just not about people being negative with me. Like if someone starts agreeing with me about my negativity, I'm like, all right, I'm not your friend anymore.
Is that why you're always on the opposite end of our arguments?
All the time
You have to
because
be
it's
like,
not
I don't
fun.
wanna
Because
be
you
on
don't
your
like anything
side.
that's mainstream, Box.
Well, it's not even that. Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Except for
actually, 'cause
coffee.
Yeah, well, I like coffee and beer.
Fucking
Beer's
hipster.
good. Beer's pretty
Yeah,
mainstream.
you like beer now.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're even.
Although
you're
I'm
even
drinking
getting into-
Labatt, so it's
you're-
not really even beer.
I
It's
mean,
just
it's
cold,
beer. It's
cold
beerish.
piss water.
It's beerish.
This one's for Casey. Cheers.
Beerish.
You're getting into IPAs and everything too. I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, well, had to
Your
do something different.
palate has transformed.
I cracked one of these earlier.
Your
and
palate has transformed.
Nope, there it is.
Speaking of beer,
Is that for sale in Michigan now? Is that
Not
right?
yet.
No,
It-
I
uh,
went to Ohio.
it was
Oh.
supposed to be last month,
And it's just not.
but they pushed it back due to COVID. So
Whatever. Everything's fucking due to COVID
I
right
don't know.
now.
I had to go to Ohio. Well, I didn't have to go to Ohio. I went with my coworker because I felt bad that she was going to Ohio for
by
work
herself.
on Friday at 5 a.m. So I'm like, I'll ride in the car with you. I'm like, plus I need to get beer while I'm in Ohio, so it's fine.
That's the
we're-
rule.
we're on
You
the
go to
clock,
Ohio, you're
but-
picking up Yangling.
We're on the clock, but let's stop.
I don't
and
even
get
think
some
I
beer.
clocked in. I was in my pajamas still, and I just kind of hung out in her passenger seat. So
Jesus.
Played games with her daughter and shit.
Whack. Whack. Yeah. I'm just ready though. I'm just ready for something new. I'm pretty sick of it all.
it's like an etch-a-sketch, just like
Well, it's
Yeah,
been,
like the last
it's
2
been
years.
affecting me like a lot recently. I've been really negative, and I feel like every single member that I help, not every single, but like 75% of the members that I help are just complete assholes.
Mhm.
Like I had a member today that I was telling him, I'm like, you're not set up on automatic payment. He's like, ma'am, I am set up on automatic payment. I don't know what you're looking at. I need to speak with someone else. And I was like, I put him on hold, and then he hung up and called another branch.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'm like, don't tell me I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm literally looking at your account and I see that there's no automatic payment coming out of your account. So then I had to look deeper into it and saw that it was deleted. Whatever, no big deal. But it was like everyone is just so rude. And I was talking to my coworker and I was like, maybe it's because I'm negative and I'm like so unhappy about being at work and like
But it like comes out in your tone from the beginning.
yeah, or it's like my aura at the time, you know, because they say that like your attitude attracts
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I'm like, I'm just gonna be more positive. And then I was like, today's gonna be a good day. We got free lunch at work. I'm like, you know what?
That's
And
how I felt.
No.
And then my coworker almost got in a fight. It's fine.
You know what? I don't think it's your attitude. I think the world has become, at least the U.S. has become much more cynical, much more negative, and they're taking it out on service workers and fucking customer service. Fucking waitresses.
What-
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is there a ghost?
I'm sorry. No, not exactly. Shadow people have been fucking with me the past few days. Okay.
That's on fucking camera, like right on your
I
face.
know.
You-
I know.
oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. But it's the past like 2 weeks.
I feel like you're really trying not to look again right now.
I'm scared.
The past like 2 weeks, shadow people keep really fucking with me, and it's driving me nuts. It happens a lot more at work than anywhere else, but that's the first time I've ever seen one in your house, so that's pretty nice.
Help me.
There's no such thing as ghosts or shadow people or spirits
not
or
I
true
souls.
at all.
disagree.
It's fine. They usually follow people. It's fine. It's not your house.
Oh, so it's Mark's person.
Mark is just a shadow person.
Whoops.
Person.
Sorry for that distraction.
He's the shadow
That
people
was-
manager.
Do you even remember where you were at and what you were saying?
Service.
Welcome to TF4. this
the-
is what happens every
No,
episode.
no. I think
Bear
I
with
think
us.
people are taking it out on customer service workers and waitresses and restaurant staff, especially like fast food staff. Like people are just angry at everything, and they don't
Mhm.
realize like everyone else is dealing with the same shit you are.
And that's the thing. Like, I try and be like patient with people. And I'm like, I understand you're short staffed. And like, sometimes I mess around. I'm like, what do you mean you're short staffed? You guys aren't even busy at all. And I'm like, no, I totally get it. Like, we're like at work, we're short staffed. I had a girl call and she was like, I shouldn't have to do this. I don't work there. And I'm like, you still have to make sure you have insurance on your car. Like, this is not our job to like follow up with every single. I was like, we have thousands of members. We can't be calling every person's insurance to make sure that they have the correct insurance on file. Like, that's your responsibility. But it's like calling right off the bat and just being like, I don't work for you. You guys need to get your shit together. I'm like, okay, lady. Like,
I had people tell me that all the time at my other job too, where they were just like, they're like, I should be getting paid at this point, and I'm like, why? Because
my
you had to
God.
submit your bank statements.
right? Like, this
You had
is
to give us info.
You
for
had to
us
go log
do
into your
this
account
for you.
and
I'm
download
sorry.
your own fucking documents and then send them in. They're like, well, you should have been able to like send the request over, blah blah blah. I'm like, that only gives us access to see your active balance of your account. We can't take your information from
right.
your account.
And they would be pissed if you were able to do that.
Right.
How are you able to see all that? That's my private information. Well,
Right?
you want me to just
How'd you
go
access
and grab
that?
it?
Like, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to say to kind of try and lighten the mood when I pick up food for us for lunch and shit like that. If they ever say sorry for the wait, we're short staffed, unless I'm pissed off, because fucking Panera, dude,
I had Panera today and I thought of you.
so done with like we've gotten Panera since then, much better. But at
Okay.
the time, dude, it was like they had 3 people working, and all 3 of them had their thumbs up their asses doing nothing. It
Ew.
was fucking driving me.
You don't
nuts.
want to think about that when you go to Panera.
Sometimes you do. It's fine.
What? No.
That's just, if the wait's that long, you just
You want a side of
assume
pink
they're-
eye
they're
with that
doing
broccoli
something.
cheddar soup?
Ugh. Ew. Well, that's where broccoli cheddar soup leads to anyway. It's
What the
fine.
hell's wrong with you people?
You really want
But
to go
no,
there?
actually, I the last time I went to Panera to pick us up food. They said sorry about the wait. We're short staffed, and like my shit was already ready, so I was fine. I was in a good mood. I'm like, well, maybe you should hire taller people. And I went and grabbed my bag from the shelf, and she goes, wait, what? And I just smiled and said, have a good day, and walked out the door. I'm like,
Hopefully she got it once you left. She was
I
like,
hope
oh, that
so.
guy just told us to hire taller people. And
I hope
he was
so.
like,
Oh, you know, I had like 2 glasses of wine at my mom's birthday dinner last night, and my mom told my dad, I think, told the stupidest fucking joke, and I just like I was crying. I was laughing so hard. I was like, I don't know why it was that funny.
What was a joke?
Adam and Eve were sitting together, and Adam said, did you know that the McRib is back? And she said, I told you to stop calling me that.
That's good. That's
And
good.
it just laughed
knew it was
way
going
too
there.
long, way too hard.
What does that mean?
She was made from Adam's rib. Eve was
So he
made
said the
from
McRib
Adam's
is
rib.
back.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Mhm.
McRib, yeah.
Yeah, and I cried. It was so fucking stupid.
Yeah. When God created Eve, supposedly, he took a rib from Adam and turned it into a woman.
Oh, interesting.
Meaning
that's
Adam.
You
funny.
really didn't know that?
No.
Adam was a woman at one point.
That's not
Or
the
we're
same
all
thing.
incested and fucking biologically related.
According to that,
hey,
yeah.
God looked at Adam, said, here, go fuck yourself.
Perfect.
But
Interesting. I didn't mean to take it there. It just was pointing out a very stupid joke that I laughed at.
we're not allowed to talk about religion on the show
Diane
anymore.
loves the McRib.
The McRib
A
has
lot
no
of people do.
flavor.
I
I've
just
never
don't.
had one.
It's got nothing.
One of these days, I want
It's
to
just
try
a
it.
flash
I think
frozen piece of pink goo. That
I
you
think
put
refuse
eventually
to
we'll
buy
like
the
it.
McRib.
Maybe
Huh?
either we've already passed the time of when we would like it, or eventually we will grow into liking it. I think.
But at
Like
this
food
point
just
right
kind
now,
of
we
cycles
won't
that
like
way.
it.
They claim that I don't know how frequent it is, but they claim that your like taste buds literally like change.
It's like every
Isn't it
over
like
time,
every
and,
It's like-
7 years
yeah, I would say
or
it's
something?
7
is
years.
it
Yeah,
like, and
for
that's
sure.
like why you kind of age out of and into foods. Like Alex was sitting at dinner last night, and he's just like, I've been sleeping on Caesar dressing. Like he's like, that shit is fucking good. I'm like, I feel the same way about Italian dressing, and it just
Well,
came
that's
out of
funny.
nowhere.
Speaking of which, you know how long it's been since I actually had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh my god.
He eats them all the time.
So I don't. And
I have not
I
had
love,
one in a long time.
I love a good PB&J, right?
I had 3 for lunch last week.
Jesus.
Oh.
When?
I took peanut butter and I took jelly and bread and
You
Six
made
scoop the bread
sandwiches
into
like
it.
that. You know how that works.
I took the entire what was left of the loaf.
Well,
and
first he got a knife, and then
just-
Then he had to go to the fridge to get the jelly, and
They
then
just-
he realized that the knife was dirty from the peanut butter, so he had to go get a
I
second
mix.
knife. You mix?
Yep.
So you're not supposed to mix. You
don't
know?
care.
wait, what?
I mix.
Yeah, but
Like,
what
you,
about?
are you
I'm-
saying you don't wipe the knife off?
I
and
mean,
you
I
just
wipe
go
the
to
knife on the bread and then just go into the next
No,
one.
Yeah, I
you-
don't
no,
have
no,
a
no,
problem
no,
with
no,
that.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
That actually makes the jelly go bad.
You start in the jelly.
There's never enough time
You
for
start in the jelly?
yeah. The jelly comes off easier than the peanut butter.
What if you
does.
have
What?
What if you have the squeezable jelly? Or
That's fine.
Then you're
Or-
need to leave this house.
what if you have the peanut butter and jelly mixture? that
Wrong
comes with-
again? You need
Ooh,
to
like
leave the
Goober?
house.
That one,
Yeah,
I love
Goober. I
Goober.
like
that one is
Goober.
never worth buying. Never,
Listen.
it's
Oh.
never as good.
There's only 2 brands that I'm a stickler on.
Jif?
And
Oreos.
no,
No,
I don't care
Reese's,
about
you
that.
mean?
No.
No, it's Jif
Pussy.
Peter
Jif?
Pan,
and
fuck Peter Pan.
Hang on.
Skippy.
No,
No,
he
Skippy's,
said Jif.
Skippy's bottom
Jif
tier.
is it.
Oh, I thought you said there was 2 brands.
Sour
yeah,
cream.
of other like no, I don't. Give a
Oh,
shit.
of other things that you're stickler
You
on.
never
Yeah.
let me
It's-
buy
Oh, is it the
Kroger
ketchup,
It's
brand.
isn't it?
Jif
Oh,
and
yeah,
Smuckers.
It's ketchup, isn't it?
No, not
Yes, you're
Smuckers.
right.
You
No,
dirty
I mean for
bastard.
jelly.
No, it's your
No.
ketchup brand
You're right.
No, no.
that you're stickler on.
right.
Heinz.
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 No. I
No,
thought
no.
Hunt's.
Hunts. Excuse me. Good lord. Don't
Oh,
turn me
you're
into
the
a
opposite
liberal.
of Cara.
Mine
Cara
is
will
Heinz.
only do
Yours
Heinz.
is Hunt.
It rhymes with
Heinz-
his favorite word.
But
Cunts.
Cunts,
I
yeah.
like the Kroger version of Heinz too. That's it's accurate.
Heinz is
It's
made
good.
with incredibly high amounts of high fructose corn syrup, and it's owned by the Carey family, which are a notorious bunch of liberals, and I will not support them
Love that.
by any means, shape, or form. And their ketchup tastes like
Do
shit.
you
John
look into that
Kerry?
information on every company you support?
I do.
Who
Do you actually?
cares?
You're a liar.
Honestly,
Do you have a
I-
chart?
You're a
Really-
goddamn liar.
I really
you don't do
do.
that for every
ketchup is
company.
ketchup.
If it's something that I'm such a big stick
peanut butter
iPhones?
is peanut butter.
no,
Apple?
again,
I bought peanut butter from Sam's
Again.
Club.
it's not.
and
Why are
he
we
was
having 2
not having
conversations? Stop
this
it.
is like when we're actually sitting upstairs
Basically,
Yeah.
and
this
then
is
we
what
just
a
kind
real
of drift away
conversation
from
looks
each
like
other.
No.
between us four.
First of all, that is
and
the
I
most
argue.
disgusting peanut butter I've ever
What
witnessed
peanut butter?
in my life.
It
Wait,
is
what
not.
peanut butter?
The Sam's Club natural peanut butter.
It's disgusting. It's like liquid.
There's
You-
no,
You're supposed to
Just
mix it
stir
together.
it.
there's
Just
no
stir it.
fucking peanuts in it.
No. Even
No,
after
it's
stirring
natural.
it, I
What
can
do you
still
mean?
jiggle
It's
it.
natural.
It's only peanuts.
No, it's no.
No.
It's no.
It's
no.
just a
not.
jar of peanuts.
No.
What is the peanut substitute?
It doesn't stick to anything.
It's
Yes,
hot.
it
It's
does.
full of
Because you stir the
oil.
oil
There's
back
no
into it.
butter. It's
It's
just
full of
just oil.
It's
What do
disgusting.
you have to mix it.
Bitch, I fucking mixed it, and I could still literally turn it, and it
Dude,
would pour out.
You could throw that shit in a food
You were
processor
just
and
being
it will
lazy.
not
You didn't
fucking
mix it all the way.
No,
Shut
he
the
didn't.
fuck up. I shouldn't have to mix.
It's like
my
oil and
fucking
water.
peanut
You
butter.
throw that shit in a fucking food processor and it won't mix.
The
It's
only
just-
other brand that I'd say I'm a little bit of a stickler on, and it's not so much now because Tasha gets a bunch of different shit, but I think Cara would agree with me on this.
What do you mean for him?
Hidden Valley Ranch is the ranch.
No.
So here's the thing.
Cara will hang on. Let
Uh-oh.
me speak for you for a second here. Cara
Let your
will
man
eat, Cara will
mansplain.
eat Hidden Valley Ranch, but the ranch for her is Jets Ranch.
Jets Ranch, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't go to the store. and
Only
buy
for
that.
one thing. Jets
Pizza.
Ranch is only for pizza.
It's only
Pizza,
for pizza.
yeah.
Yeah, right. But you can't
But you
go to the
can
store
buy
and buy
Jets Ranch in bottles.
Yeah, I understand,
at
but like,
Jets.
why the fuck are you gonna go to Jets and
Yeah,
pay
but that-
$5.99 for a bottle of ranch that's gonna
It's
go
like
bad
$4,
in weeks?
dude.
So
Yeah.
Okay,
if that-
$5.99
So
and
listen,
$4 is a
that-
big
I'll
difference.
speak for me now because
You're
Go,
welcome.
Cara, you
I
do it.
used to
I'll allow
love Hidden Valley. Like that was the tops. That was it. That's the only ranch that I wanted aside from like ranch or Jets for pizza. But I don't like it anymore.
Rip.
Any of it.
Rip.
It's very, very hard for me to find I like ranch at diners. Like the kind that like is kind of runny for your
Oh,
salads.
so
and
Gordon
stuff.
Food Service
Probably.
Ranch.
Or
It
like
is.
I don't know
the
where to
ranch
find
that
it.
you dip your honey in.
That's
yeah,
that's also
just
Gordon
a little,
Food
just
Service.
like a little bit runny, not as thick. Like,
Gordon.
and then I
Yeah,
don't know.
It's
I tried
probably a
Hidden
bulk
Valley and
Gordon
it just
food
doesn't.
service
do it for me
garbage they mix with water.
Have you guys been to Boston's at
Is that the
Hall
one we went
Road?
to for your birthday?
Did we go there for my birthday?
Hell no. Fuck
The one at
Boston's.
23. Isn't there
No,
Boston's?
Dude, I can't remember 2
No,
days
that's
ago.
Orange
I have
Jake's.
no fucking
it's
clue.
at Hall Road and Hayes.
Then no.
But they have really good ranch, like really, really good ranch.
That we got whatever ranch they use at Blake's is really good because I
Gordon
know
Food
after
Service.
the party that we had, one of the parties that we had, they brought like the ranch jars that they keep in the fridge there, and I took that home
It is
and just
GFS.
kept it.
Yeah, it's Gordon Food Service. Absolutely.
Anyone
Well, that's
can
it.
shop
That's where we
there.
need to go.
Unless they mix a different
Super
one
cheap.
for the stuff
Yeah.
they sell. I don't know. But
Go buy. It's like Gordon's is like, this is offensive to everyone, but Gordon's is like the poor man's version of Sam's Club because you can buy like huge things and it's really cheap.
Yeah, we used to get the
It is
pizza,
not
the
the
school
poor man's version
pizzas
of Sam's
there
Club.
for my house.
Yeah.
My
I'll
mom would
explain
just-
to you why.
Yeah.
The square pizzas.
Yeah.
It's not the poor man's version of Sam's Club because Gordon Food Service is the one that companies will buy bulk from
Yeah, we used to go there.
because you can get extra. Like you can literally
It
order
was-
by the pallet
It was just a
from
statement.
GFS.
It was just a statement.
when we
Yeah.
would run out of corn, when we had 50-cent corn dog day at Sonic, and we would run out of corn dogs,
Dude, I
we
miss
would
those
go
days.
to Gordon Food
Yeah,
Service
Listen,
and get
these
corn dogs.
businesses want to make money,
Spoiler
so they
alert.
go to the cheaper food place so that they
It's
can
the-
make more
yeah,
money.
It's the poor man's.
Well,
That's your
we just
school
had
lunch
run out,
supplier.
so that's why we went there.
Hospital food supplier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I
I-
want
I-
corn.
I
She didn't
remember-
take offense to it.
I
You're getting all
remember-
worked up over
I'm
here.
not getting offended.
No, you're getting
I
offended.
knew
I
I was poor,
remember-
so that's where we got food from.
I lived that
Wait,
shit.
you got food from Gordon Food Service?
I just
She
told
just
you my
said she
mom
got
used
the
to buy the
school
school
pizza.
pizzas and put them in the freezer, and that's what she would make at home for us sometimes.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Mark, I thought you weren't that
We
deaf.
used to actually have like those big the cookie sheets, like what they use in the schools that are just like
Yeah.
little bent on the one end.
Yeah.
We had some of those at home, so you just put the pizza on it.
We used those for weapons when we wrestled. in the
I
backyard.
believe that.
The thick ones that were kind of rounded on the edges. Yeah. But no.
New title of this episode: Gordon Food Service, the poor man's Sam's Club.
it's like Gordon's Foods, but over Gordon's you put poor man's.
In the same font.
Poor
Just-
Poor man's
Poor
food.
man's food.
Just scribbled out. That's funny.
My dad used to go to Sam's Club. That's how he filled our deep freeze and shit. And we were
Well,
poor,
your dad must have
poor.
had a good job.
I mean, he was a truck driver.
That's a good job, especially now. They're
Now-
paying like $40 an hour because no one will fucking work.
Well, now they are because at the time, for a while there, they were only paying like 15 an hour.
I was.
Now
What?
they've got girls on TikTok that drive truck and
Yeah,
stuff.
I know,
hot
I saw
girls
that.
on
Their whole
TikTok that drive
channel.
trucks
Calm down.
that are perfectly comfortable with flashing people that drive past them.
While they're driving, that's
Yeah.
so dangerous.
People are fucking
It's-
crazy.
Awesome.
I mean, they gave Josh a license. Love you, Josh.
That's true. Hi, Josh.
Who's Josh?
Our buddy Josh that stood up in the
Okay.
wedding.
Oh, well,
Josh
there's a lot of
is-
Joshes.
He's a terrifying driver.
I really hope Josh in a semi is a lot safer than he is in a
Oh,
fucking
true, yeah,
four-wheel
forget.
car.
Yeah.
Because in a four-wheel car, he's fucking insane.
I don't think he'll ever hear this. I don't think he listens.
Well, we've literally told him, we were like, Josh, I don't want to be in the car with you. And he's like, fair.
And now he drives a semi?
He's been driving a semi
He
for a
has
while.
been.
He's
I don't know
put-
if he is right
He's
now.
put semis in ditches and shit.
Vox
my
told me
gosh.
to drive a truck, and I'm like, you already say I'm
Truck
a terrible
driver Tasha.
driver, and you want me to drive a truck?
Make good money. I was reading an article the other day that said that they're hiring right now cross-country drivers for $85 an hour.
My dad needs to find that job because
Okay,
he's not getting paid that.
I'm getting a CDL.
Yep, CDLA with intrastate, so you can leave and go, and you're gone for like 3 months at a time. But
I don't want to be gone for 3 months at a time.
That's what
I
the
wanna
deal
go,
is.
I'm going to be gone for like 4 days at a time.
Don't worry, I'll take care of your money.
no, that's interstate then, because intrastate is when you can travel state to state, and they're hiring people to go out to California, drive to Texas,
buddy.
go over to Florida,
Intrastate?
Whatever.
That's
is
how
in
you
the
become
same
a
state
serial
you're in.
killer.
whatever, vice versa then.
Yeah.
I-5 killer.
And
Maybe I'll
then-
do it then.
Yeah, and you'll just be gone for months at a time. So
And kill people.
You won't
That's what
miss
she's
me.
saying.
Sounds like a plan.
You'll miss me though.
See, the only reason I won't do the whole months at a time thing is because
I'll cry.
she'll lose her shit, dude. She'll lose her shit.
I could do it, but
I could do it personally because I just fucking take my PlayStation and Xbox with
Yep,
me and
yep.
do whatever. And
because dude, some rigs are fucking like really tight,
I know,
really tight.
I know. The new Peterbilts are fucking nice.
No, I would never drive a Peterbilt.
My God, the new Kenworths are pretty nice.
And I wouldn't drive one of those either.
Freightliner?
Yep. Freightliner.
Peterbilts are
Or
better.
Detroit diesel, but
Peterbilts are better.
no.
My dad drove a Freightliner.
You could drive Peterbilts all you want, but you get ready to spend $1 million on service
Oh, yeah.
every year.
It's
I feel
dude,
weird, like we're like got
It's
that
the
neighbor
Cadillac
thing
of
from
the
Home
fucking-
Improvement going on.
It's
You
the
can't-
Cadillac of the
can't
fucking
see.
semi, man.
Whatever.
It's comfy.
Speaking of Cadillacs, I'm drinking Labatt's. I think I said that earlier, but this is the Cadillac of beer.
No, it is not.
It's just not good.
This,
Isn't that a slogan on
Then
something
why are
though?
you
And that's
drinking
not
it?
well,
Because
bad.
it was $4 for a 6-pack, and I didn't want to
So
spend
what?
fucking
Wait, you got-
$20. I didn't want to
Did
spend
you say it was $4 for a 6-pack of 16 ounces?
yeah.
Jesus Christ,
dude,
where?
BB's.
I'm going to BB's.
to buy a present for Casey.
No, I'm going to BB's to buy a present for me.
It's not. I cracked one open and I expected it to be as thick and
Oh,
as like
shit.
hoppy as Diabolical, and I was like, oh.
Food's outside.
Yeah, but why would you buy like quantity
Mark.
or quality over quantity?
Just money.
Are you poor?
I just didn't want to spend a bunch of money. That was all.
You wouldn't
I'm
spend
poor.
$2 more to get better beer?
No, it was gonna be like $4 more to get better.
Okay,
beer.
that's really not that big.
It's
a
sitting
deal.
outside getting cold.
What?
$8 for a 6-pack? Nah.
Cheap.
That's
$10
super
for
cheap.
a 6-pack of craft.
Yeah, it's cheap. It was what I wanted. Truly. Not
Truly's?
Not truly.
Gross. You
wanted Truly's?
Not truly. What I honestly
Are you gonna go
wanted.
get that food?
Yeah,
Get
so it
cold.
doesn't fucking get
Was-
cold.
Speaking of
Hey,
Truly's,
will you bring me a couple beers?
will you
Oh
bring
my
me some
God,
Truly's?
what is going on here?
She's saying.
Do we need to pause real quick? We have the ability to do that. We're not live streaming.
Are we recording?
She's
We've
mad.
been
She was
recording
trying-
for 26 minutes.
I'm
She
joking.
was trying to. Wow. You
That
didn't
was-
know we were recording?
No, it was. I was joking.
She had to say it
God damn it.
for each episode. We have to
Damn
have
it.
that.
No, she was trying to get my attention to tell me to go get the food that's on the front porch. And I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, you guys are over there
Rude.
talking.
Rep.
And then I was like, you going to go get that food? It's getting cold. she
This
gets
is
up.
good. This
I'm
is
like,
good
will you get me a
content.
couple beers?
This is real good content.
Are you lying?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Super
Perfect.
sarcasm.
100%.
Yeah. People sitting here listening are like, just fast forward about 30 seconds. You can do that in cars now.
Why would you do that?
So you can jump forward to a not boring conversation.
Nothing
We're
we
just-
do is boring.
We heard
folks.
everything that you and Mark said, and then he was reiterating everything that you
No,
and
no,
Mark
no.
God.
said.
The listeners heard it. You did not. You were
I heard
asking.
it. I can
So
hear
are
out
you
of both
still
ears.
recording it?
Then
Yeah.
Why did you
Oh, God.
ask?
I didn't ask shit.
You literally said, "What is happening right now?"
Why
oh yeah,
didn't
that
you
was
just
that was
pause
a
it?
rhetorical question.
God, you ask, Hunt.
Whoa,
That's a new one.
that would look weird.
Would that be a front butt?
It would be a front. It'd be
A fupa?
it'd be a front butt that could just poop. Right? Because front
Imagine the
butt.
sound of those queefs.
Ew. It'd just be a fart.
Josh, are you okay?
No.
She's extremely uncomfortable.
It would just be a fart. A queef is just a front butt fart. Right? Just verifying.
that's a for real front butt.
Yeah. It's a legitimate. You fart? Oh, God.
Sorry, that was a queef.
This episode is
This
not
episode
This
is
is
brought
what
to you by
happens.
front butts.
This is what happens when we don't have legitimate topics lined up and we don't
we
podcast
did.
I'm
for
having a great
fucking
time.
months,
I don't know what you're talking about.
months
No.
at a time.
I thought you said you were making a list. Of
No one
topics.
sent me any topics
You said
today.
I'm making a list.
I said I'm going to start
Checking
making
it
What
lists.
was
twice.
on your list?
I didn't have anything.
God damn it!
Well, actually, I lied. I did want to talk about the events that happened this week, but you guys,
So
I'm
look,
very political. You guys don't want to get into that shit,
Look,
and I'm not.
I don't want to get into it. I
Right.
mean,
and I don't want to talk about something
Yeah.
that you guys aren't gonna fucking either give your opinion or argue with me on, because then it's just me rambling, and that's not what this is about.
I don't believe it's
I
going
won't
to
sit in
turn into.
silence or anything.
I don't believe it's going to turn into an argument.
Oh, and neither do I.
I think that for the most part, at least three of us are going to agree in
To disagree,
in,
no.
in most of the things we have to say. But I
Yeah.
think that the the problem is I don't want to make a tragedy like this right now a political discussion.
Too late. The media already did that for you.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, just
And
because they jump off a bridge doesn't mean I'm gonna do it.
If the
Right.
media says jump off a bridge, Kara, you're gonna jump off that fucking bridge.
Only if they have 10 experts to back them up.
Can
depends,
I tell
do
you?
they have cookies?
Can I tell you what I just heard about Germany? Since let's get
Is
rid
this
of
about the Feed America campaign?
no. What?
You didn't hear about
There's
that?
like a German website up that's like American people are starving. Here, donate here to help feed America.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that on
It's a
TikTok.
real-
I don't know if it's real or it's a real.org site through
Yeah.
them,
Oh.
but I don't know if it's
They
legit
think
or
we're
a
starving
joke.
like we're fucking North Korea over here.
Yeah,
No.
they have like campaign ads and stuff for it and
Wow.
everything, like commercials.
I didn't hear
but
that.
but I don't know if it's a joke or not.
So I heard this through a lot of people at work. Like multiple people at different times have told me this. I never wanted to look it up because I just don't care. But I did hear that they are going, starting January 1st, door to door. And if you don't have a vaccination, they're putting you in prison.
What?
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
I don't
Germany?
know. Yeah.
You didn't look it up?
No. But this is multiple people that aren't connected telling me the same thing.
I
And
don't
I'm like,
believe it.
What?
Yeah,
the
but maybe
fuck?
they were like, let's fuck with Vaux.
I don't think so. People don't like me that much to do that.
But that's
They
the
did
thing.
with
they
the
don't
fr-
like you,
the
so maybe they'll fuck
Part
with
that
you.
they were asking for
But
Yeah,
hey,
maybe.
one time.
I don't
there's
believe it,
Pat.
and I'll tell you
Oh.
why. Because Germany is one of the few countries that actually has learned from some of their fucking mistakes. I'd like to think, at least. I mean, that's not the sort of thing they're going to want to do because that sounds an awful like internment camp. So it sounds an
Yep,
awful
it's
like
exactly that.
concentration camp. So it sounds an awful like we are putting you away for your beliefs.
I mean, there's probably some kind of truthful basis to the story, but it's probably being overblown into this thing because of their history.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe.
Who knows?
Um,
But the moment they start doing it, they're going to be
German-
called Nazi Germany again.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. National and regional leaders agree on Thursday to ban Germany's unvaccinated population from non-essential businesses such as bars, restaurants, movie theaters, in bid of encouraging the vaccine uptake. German lawmakers have implemented new curbs for unvaccinated and make plans to make the COVID vaccination mandatory starting January 1st for all citizens. National and regional leaders are agreeing to put why is this literally just saying the same thing two fucking paragraphs in a row? More than 1 million COVID vaccines were administered in Germany on Thursday, although the vast majority of those vaccines were boosters. They have 28 days to comply with this or face jail time.
What
Wow.
source is that from, though?
This is from
4chan? 9gag? LO?
CNBC.com.
Uh-oh. Could be legit.
It could be. Yeah, who knows? I mean, if I was
It's on
reading
the
this
internet, Mark.
if I was reading this on CNN, I'd probably be saying the same thing. So,
Yeah, but I know that they required like measles vaccinations and like
Polio.
polio vaccinations and stuff when going to school. But was it ever required to like live your daily life besides going to school?
No.
I don't
Which-
think so, but here's
But they're in an
I
they're
know
in an
it's
area of
way
the world that's
different,
been way
but-
more ridden with like diseases that have wiped out
Like the
so
entire
much of their populations multiple times over the centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is an area of the world that just has experienced it a lot more harshly than others.
Yeah. See, I don't know that much about history, so I don't want to sound arrogant when talking about it, but I just feel like the vaccine is very political.
Yeah.
Rather than being
Well, everything becomes
Everything's
political
political.
now.
right.
You know?
Rather than being about
your
people's
favorite color is
health.
blue, you dirty whore. It
literally
should
like
be red.
Fucking
Karens are a
Democrat.
political thing.
Is it red a
and
whore color?
Yeah, like the
My dad told me it was.
They're all
My dad
war
told me it was
colors.
blue. He told me I wasn't allowed to wear blue eyeshadow when I was a kid,
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fair.
Blue eyeshadow
What?
is very
That's
whorish.
fair.
or black nail polish.
Yeah, cuz I think that growing up his generation did associate probably blue with, you know, strippers or hookers or whatever. That's fair.
Mhm.
I mean,
Loose girls.
was it fair? I'm not saying, Jesus, Mark, you're skewing my words here. I'm not saying that it was fair for him to tell you that, but I'm saying it was a fair assumption for him to want to protect his
yeah,
child
from his experience.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's fair. I'd be doing the same thing. Absolutely.
I knew where. Well, I mean, I learned
I
where it was coming from
associated
by
one
seeing
thing-
more about his decade of teenage years.
Like growing up for me, let me throw this at you. This is gonna sound racist, but growing up for me, if your pants were sagging, it usually meant that you were associated with some kind of, thug life personality, right? I wouldn't want my kid walking around with saggy pants and his ass hanging out. So I would tell him, pull your fucking pants up, right? You look like a fucking hoodlum. That's what my fucking dad would tell me too, So
That one I got.
and that's my experience. So I feel like that would be fair for
Well,
someone.
yeah, of course you
who-
didn't get told not to wear blue eyeshadow. Or did you try to?
Okay, but
I never wore
but
blue
here's my
eyeshadow
thing.
either. I was told
were
it
you
was
allowed
tacky.
to wear?
It is
Were you
tacky.
allowed to wear
Tacky
black
on a
eyeshadow?
baby.
Were you allowed to wear green eyeshadow, red eyeshadow?
I
Fucking
mean, I didn't really
purple?
wear makeup that
Fucking
much, but my dad literally didn't
yellow?
care. I could paint my nails whatever color I wanted except for black. That was the only one I wasn't allowed to do.
Then your dad.
Dye
was
my
black.
hair. I could dye my hair any color I wanted, as long as it wasn't
Your
black. and it
dad
didn't look
just
stupid.
Your
heard
hair's
blue
like
was
almost
for
naturally black.
horrors and black is for Satanists, and that's what he stuck with.
It was just his opinion on things.
Yeah,
Stupid.
my mom did not like the fact that I wore or tried to wear black, so she banned black from my wardrobe because she
Also
thought
stupid.
And now that's his entire wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't allowed to grow my hair,
Also stupid.
wasn't allowed to have facial hair.
I wasn't allowed to grow my hair either.
Yeah, well,
That's why when my mom and dad split, I grew my hair out.
and that's why when I moved out of the house, you see me now. Fuck you, Dad. What are you gonna do about it? He calls it my head handle.
He's gonna
Or
chop it
manhandle.
off next time we come to their house.
He wouldn't dare. I could put it up in a ponytail and walk in, and he would be pissed, but he wouldn't dare chop it off. And if he did, he knew that would ruin our relationship. So, end of story.
Yeah,
Not
you
like
don't-
he's gonna
you don't
listen
pull that shit.
a half hour in, but what's
We're
that?
half an hour in.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Wow, thanks
had
for
to
that.
do it.
Thanks for that time.
She
timestamp.
she said, "Are we recording?" And I said, "We're a half hour in." So there's your two for the
This
the
is
episode.
definitely our podcast tropes that we love so much.
What in the damn are you doing?
She's rubbing her boobs all over the microphone. ASMR.
What are you doing?
There she goes.
I wasn't comfortable. I had to get comfortable.
Oh my god.
What the fuck
My-
just happened?
My chair was too
Well,
close.
now
Like
you're-
she's like a cat.
There. Now you don't look.
I
Your
heard
head's
so
getting cut
much
off.
noise, and I look up to see your tits on the mic.
Do you guys think that we'll ever become famous? With
No.
This?
No.
Okay.
Oh, I hope so.
Me, maybe. The rest of you, probably not.
I don't, if we become famous, it's gonna be something for something real bad.
What? Okay.
That's
Let
what
me
I'm saying. Me, maybe.
Mark
the
or
rest of you,
Vaux are
probably
gonna
not.
say something, and
let
they're
me
gonna
rephrase it. Do you think we're ever gonna go viral with anything that we do?
Me, maybe.
Again.
The rest of you, not.
probably
Strange thing.
something bad.
Yeah. I try to get good clips of you two, but you're just too tame. You're just way
They're
too
afraid of
tame.
embarrassing
Well,
themselves.
Tasha just rubbed her boobs all over the mic,
Yeah.
so there you go. You
Yeah,
got
that could be a good one.
that.
I got to get back on the TikTok game. I haven't turned my computer on since the last time we podcast, so it's been down
Wow.
here.
The
for a
girls
while.
are afraid of embarrassing themselves.
Yeah.
Gotta get us
No
drunk.
shame here.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, fucking here. Get drunk.
I can
Don't
do that
drink my beer.
tomorrow, not
Don't
today.
Try
drink
to
my
bring
beer.
me more.
There's a
I
whole
asked-
bunch in the fridge up
I
there.
know. I threw a bunch in there. She wouldn't bring me.
Oh,
any.
she didn't bring you more down.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay, I was
saying.
like, what the fuck?
All right,
I asked
pause it so we can
nicely.
go get.
I tried to ask him to go get the food, and he literally went. Hmm?
You didn't ask.
You
You said the food's outside.
I tried to. You wouldn't look
Here
at
we
me.
go. Here we go again. Are you gonna go get drinks? All right.
I was going to, but
Watch.
you.
Look at that. It's that easy. We multiplied our drinks. We filled our bellies, and it's only been 1 second.
Oh my god.
I didn't fill my belly. Just kind of.
Listen, man. You could have finished your burger, and you're like,
I didn't want to make you guys wait.
it would have taken a solid 3 minutes. You're like, nope. Let's just do it.
I'm not you, okay? I don't scarf my shit.
He mentioned when he bought me McDonald's the other day that I ate really, really fast.
You
He
eat
ate-
like someone's gonna take your food away from you.
You know what? And I was raised that way too. I had, like I told him, I had to relearn how to eat. You can ask Kara. When we first got together, I was eating a mile a minute. Like my food was gone before she was halfway through her meal. Now her food is gone before I'm halfway through a meal.
See,
yeah,
that's
because you're gonna take my food.
he eats
Also
so
fair.
he eats so fast, and then he's like, "I don't feel well. I ate too much." I'm like, "Slow the fuck down."
You didn't eat too much. You ate too fast.
No, he usually eats too much too.
But you don't feel how full you are
until like 20 minutes later.
If you eat slow,
You
and
feel
like in 15 minutes you're
feel
full.
full faster.
Yeah.
That's why, like, when I was like reading about eating healthier and eating better, it was like portion control, because you put it on your plate and then you eat it and then wait like 15-20 minutes, and if you're still hungry, then get seconds. But in 20 minutes, if you're not hungry anymore, then you're good. Because if
It's
you're
just
that
really
was-
hard because
and get
some food
seconds right
just
away.
tastes
Yeah.
so good.
It all depends on what you're eating. If I'm eating fucking cheesy potatoes,
Chips
you
and
better believe I'm
salsa?
going back for seconds right now.
I can
He
eat.
didn't even get up to go get seconds of cheesy potatoes at Thanksgiving at his mom's. He tried eating what she was eating on her plate before he got
no,
up.
bitch,
got up to the
you
table.
shut up. My mom was. She had an entire mound of cheesy
She was
potatoes
gonna
on her
fork
plate.
him in the hand.
She tried. She had an entire
could see
mound of
it.
cheesy
I could
potatoes
see her
on her
doing
plate
that.
that she had never touched the
Yet.
entire meal. And I'm like, bitch, you ain't gonna
She
finish
saved
that.
him
Now,
for last.
I'm over there trying to fork just a bite, just one bite. I wasn't trying to eat it all, just one goddamn bite. And she's trying to fucking stab me. And I'm like, all right, this reminds me of fucking growing up. All right, I'll go get my own.
Mike made cheesy potatoes for Friendsgiving, and I did not have any just because I was like, oh, I'll grab some later. All of them were gone. The only thing that there was not leftovers of was Mike's cheesy
Potatoes is always the number one dish
So
if it's
good.
made right.
Yeah.
Always.
I love how Mark acts like he's a victim in that encounter with his mom.
I am a victim. My
No,
mom
you're
tried stabbing
not.
me.
You were
okay.
trying to eat
okay.
off of her
Hang on.
plate.
Show of hands. Who else's mom tries stabbing them?
That's gaslighting,
Show of
Mark. That is
hands.
straight up fucking gaslighting.
Show of hands. Any of you? No? Nobody? Okay,
My mom
thank you.
spanked me, like, within the last 10 years.
You're making your mom sound like this crazy person when she just didn't want you to eat her fucking food off her plate.
Tasha's over here making her life sound like a fucking YouTube fucking Pornhub video. My mom spanked me 10 years ago.
What the fuck, Mark?
No, I'm just saying my mom has spanked me in recent years, not like when I was like 10 or 8 or 6. But she doesn't stab. I mean, she doesn't stab me. But if I
my
were
mom
to
tried stabbing me.
if I were to try to eat off her plate, she'd probably like stab me with her
My
words.
mom tried with her words.
Wow. Can I say something
Must have
here?
been a hard
Yes,
life
please
growing
do.
up.
Please do.
I don't fucking like that term gaslighting.
Why?
It's a
I knew
it's a
you were gonna
fucking,
go
like,
there.
It's like a fucking mansplaining.
It's a buzzword.
Like I don't like that word mansplaining either.
Like you just don't like the word?
I don't know. Because
You
Do
don't-
you
you
like?
don't like
do you
the emphasis
dislike?
behind it.
Well, I was gonna say, do you dislike the words, or do you dislike that they're both very commonly used on men in a negative way?
Yes, that's
Because they're
it.
both.
maybe
Do you
They're
feel
both-
targeted? Do you feel like you do those things?
I don't know because gaslighting
When you
is
Hold
hear
on,
a new.
people
hold on,
tell stories
hold on,
about
stop
examples
attacking.
of gaslighting, you're like, "That's what I do." Fuck you. That's not right.
That's not
Well-
cool. Don't.
Well,
God, shut up.
also maybe, but
like
I
that's
feel
just
like
how I argue with Natasha. Leave me alone.
I feel like gaslighting is a word that was created by feminists who don't like men.
All words are created to define something.
Okay,
Things
okay,
exist
just
before
relax.
before
Don't-
we give a
Modern
word to
feminists
them.
don't like
That's
men.
how it
Finna.
works.
Yeah, but
Finna.
even non-feminists don't like men.
You're right.
Yeah,
Men don't like men.
I would say I fucking hate myself. So that's
So-
Hold on. Gaslighting.
what's
Gaslight.
what's the
definition,
origin?
Manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity.
Yeah.
So no, I was not gaslighting.
Hang on. Is there a year date on that for me? Because like Webster's gives a year date.
But wait a minute. You were because by
Because like if
saying
it says like
just flat
circa
out,
2019, shut the
just
fuck up
by
and learn a
saying
different
just
word.
flat
That's not us.
out that your mom tried to stab you, you're making her question the kind of mom that she is. You're trying to manipulate her into questioning the kind of mom she
hold
is,
on a
as
second.
if she just
Hold
wants to
on a
stab her
second.
son instead of
Stop there.
the
Stop yourself
interaction
right
that
there.
happened.
Do you think for 1 second that my mom's gonna question what kind of mom she is?
that doesn't.
No. And on top of that,
Oh,
on
Car's getting
this
hot.
podcast, on this podcast alone, how many times have I spoken extremely positively about my single
You're
mother who
literally
raised
doing
me?
it right now.
This is not gaslighting. I'm manipulating no one. My mom.
You're manipulating the listeners. You're
Okay, so I'm
gaslighting-
manipulating nobody
You're
except
All
for
right,
my
let's
mom.
get one thing straight here. There's one person who's going to listen to this. Hi, Dustin.
My
Continue.
mom. Oh yeah.
You're
Dustin.
gaslighting Dustin. That's not fair to him.
Okay,
he
I'm
doesn't
not-
deserve that.
He's a man. He can't be gaslighted apparently. So
That's not how that
Gaslit.
works.
thanks, Fox.
Gaslit.
The proper term is gaslit.
Gaslighted.
Fuck that word, man.
Gaslighter.
Honestly.
My mom is not going to be manipulated by me telling her she tried to stab her or me telling other people she tried to stab her.
Just because it's not
there
going to
is
be
not a
successful doesn't
thing
mean
on
that's
this
not what
planet-
your statement
Shut
is
the fuck
intended
up.
to do.
How
There's
do you
not a
know how
thing
your
on this
mom's gonna
planet.
feel?
Because I know my
That's
mother.
gaslighting. You're manipulating your mom's feelings, saying
No,
that she's not gonna feel.
I
that.
know my mom's feelings. I lived with my mother. My mother was the one who raised me. I know her better than any person on this planet.
You know your mom better than you know Kara.
Yeah, probably.
Really?
But I know my mom
Maybe.
better than any person on this planet knows my mom, is what I meant.
Oh, okay.
You don't think you know your mom better than you know me?
No, I live with you.
Actually, you probably learn a lot more about your partner than you do about your mom because you wouldn't want to know some.
You don't
things
know
about
your mom's
parents,
sexual preferences.
the side of your
so,
parents'
I mean,
lives.
if you do, it's kind of fucked up.
You
I
know
mean,
about yours.
I do, unfortunately. Some of them.
it's
not all of them.
That's not fucked up. I mean,
It's kind of fucked up.
I feel like
It's
you
not
know
shit I
me
wanted
better
to
than
learn.
you know your mom.
maybe. But my mom's pretty simple.
Wow. Calling her dumb now. All right.
But I mean,
No.
I don't know.
Tasha's not simple. Tasha's very complicated. She's got a lot of moving parts and a lot of like things. And I'm not saying that and trying to be offensive at all. You just
I knew you were going to do that.
you have a lot of like really deep and emotional values in your personality. My mom isn't. She's from a different
See,
generation.
here's the thing, though: is your mom probably does. You just don't see them.
My mom has told me just about everything. Like you name it, she's told me.
Your
about
mom's
it.
pretty straightforward.
She is,
feel
yeah.
like most people still hold those things back, especially from their children, despite how close they are, because they don't want it to be your burden to know the things that are going on with them. They'll give you an inch. It doesn't mean they're going to give you the full mile. I can almost guarantee that there's things that your mom still holds back from you, despite how close how close you are.
As much as I know about my mom and as much as I know what she's gone through, I guarantee there's shit that she's held back from me still. Even at this point.
I don't, but that's just me. I'm way closer with my mom than any of you guys are. So
Do you ever have
with
you
your
ever
mom
actually
or
sat
with
down?
our own moms?
Have you sat down with your mom and told her how genuine and deep your like depressed feelings have been to the point where like,
Yep.
Or have you tried to keep any of that from her?
nope. She knows that. She knows all that. She knows I've attempted suicide and stuff too. Yeah. She knows all that.
I'm probably too close to my mom at this point.
Yeah. Well,
I don't hide shit from my mom. Hell, even when I was
My
a
mom,
teenager,
my mom always thinks I'm hiding stuff from her.
even when I was
Yeah.
a teenager, I told my mom the truth about
my
fucking
mom
everything.
doesn't. Not that she's gonna listen, but my mom doesn't know that I smoke avidly. Like that's one thing I don't tell my mom. She'd be fucking pissed.
Dude, my mom
She found that I
knew-
smoked in college and she beat my ass.
my
Didn't
mom
she?
knew
Every
that-
time she would clean out your car, she'd throw away all your lighters.
All my lighters would be thrown away, and then she had my dad go in there and check for cigarettes. He found them, but
every
but yeah,
I told
yeah.
my mom the very first time I tried weed, like the day after.
Bro,
Like,
when I
her.
told my mom I
knew
smoked
everything.
weed because I was guilty, I felt guilty as fuck. She was like, "You've only smoked weed one time," and I was like, "Bitch."
Your mom's like, your dad and I have been doing this for 25
No,
years.
my mom don't like weed. She says I've smoked weed 3 times. Ha ha. She literally said that. She's like, I've smoked weed more than you, and I was like, "Bitch."
because even
like-
our previous generation knows that like weed really
my mom
isn't that
smoked on her
harmful.
wedding day.
Me too.
Your mom smoked on our wedding day.
No, my mom doesn't really smoke. She doesn't like it that
Yep.
much.
I'm pretty tight with my mom. Actually, now that I think
Yeah.
about it, I know that bugs you a little, but
It did at first, not anymore, because I know. I mean,
Well, that's why they say usually
yeah.
that's the dynamic.
My mom and I are really close because my mom and my brother aren't very close. So
yeah. What? No, I mean, it bugged me at first because it was like you lived with your parents, and it was like I would come over, and your mom still wanted to like spend time with you, and I'm like, I get like a few hours with him a week, and
I get that. Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah,
I wasn't
you want to be
upset.
all up in my grill,
Not
but I
every-
love your mom.
Not
you know?
every
I think
woman,
she's a
not
great
every
person.
woman wants a mama's boy, but
I mean, but
You
both
got
of your
one.
parents, each of your parents took a child.
You
and
got one,
that's,
yeah.
That it is.
Well,
sometimes
no,
that's how
Bryce,
it works.
Bryce is a lone soldier because my dad don't even like him.
Really?
well, we were
I thought him
talking.
and your dad were close though.
So. No, Bryce is a fucker, man.
We were talking when I was on my way home. We were talking about mama's boys, and I was like, the way a guy treats his mom
Yeah.
is going to show you how a guy's going to treat you usually.
Yep.
So sometimes mama's boys are over the top, and you were a little bit when we first started dating, but you kind of like calmed down.
Well, you mentioned it. a few
Yeah.
times,
Well,
so
he got
okay.
used to you, and he's like, now I can call her bitch, and she'll stick around.
But like, if a guy treats his
True.
mom like shit, like he clearly like doesn't even respect the woman that brought him into this world. Like, how is he going to respect you?
There's an addendum there. I mean, like, it all depends on the life they had with their mother.
Oh, for
But-
sure.
Well, yeah,
I
because
mean,
your parent, one
But if
watching
they're
watching your
still-
parents together, or your single parents relationships with partners as you grow up is how you learn to love people. That's how you learn, by seeing those examples
Yeah.
and how they are to you. They say that a girl and like a kid's first like crush essentially, or
Yeah.
their love, is their parent. And that attachment is there. It is.
Mine was not.
It's
Mine was
typical.
whore.
But usually when you're a little kid.
But it's typical. Yeah, it's very typical.
Oh,
So
when
my-
I was a little kid.
Yeah, when
Oh.
you're
Yeah,
little,
yeah,
little,
Fair,
you
fair.
Not
start
your
forming
first
those-
like love.
Yeah, you
but
start forming those attachments like that, and then as you age up, you realize you define that love as a parent-child relationship kind of love,
Yeah,
and then you understand what you look
Oh,
for
I
in
see
a
what you're saying.
romantic partner based on what you've seen and what you've
I was just
learned.
gonna say, so it's scientifically proven, and I'm saying proven
Mhm.
because how can you prove chemistry of every person? But
Mhm.
that a lot of times men look for qualities that are in their parents in their significant others.
Yeah, that's why you hear
Yeah.
so much like you're just like your dad, you're just
Yeah.
like your mom.
Yeah.
or a lot of women go for guys that are like their fathers.
Right.
If they have a close relationship. I
Sometimes.
mean, whether or not they have a close relationship
Sometimes
with their father.
it's
but
when they don't have a close
Right.
relationship with their father, they go after their father, which is weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean,
And
there's a
yeah.
whole lot of psychological stuff behind it, because you can have a really toxic parent and go for somebody that's either just like them or the complete opposite, depending on the kind of person you've developed into.
Yeah, you've become. So my question for
you went for a good mix.
I don't know if that's offensive or not.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was waiting for a reaction, but I see you. My question for you, because you're the only one who, I mean, obviously, I'm sure Mark wants to become a parent, but you're like dead set on being a parent, right? That's been your dream for a long time. We know this. Like, are you going to hide things from your children, even if you were as close to them?
Nope.
Good
I am
question.
going to educate my kid. I'm going to educate myself.
And I'm not
first.
talking about like a 5-year-old, right?
Yeah,
I'm
no.
I'm talking about like a 16-year-old.
Actually, honestly, I'm going to spend every opportunity that I get to educate myself as much as possible how to talk to my child at every age.
Yeah.
Because there's people that I follow that have like these really good philosophies on this it's the same subject. It's sex is the main subject. But
Always,
you have a 16-year-old version of the conversation and a 3-year-old version of the conversation. And then as you grow up, you're able to know more about those things because your brain is ready for it at that time. And they have that same transparency with their kids that like that you're right now you're 5, but we'll have an 8-year-old conversation when you get there. And like, you set those expectations, and that's what I want to learn, how to have the appropriate level of conversation with my kids and make them comfortable to tell me because it's inevitable that they're going to go to school and some parent doesn't parent their kids the same way that you do.
Yeah,
So some kids know more than others, and then it's going to make your kid have questions, but I don't ever want...
isn't real.
Right.
Some
I don't ever
some
want
kids
our
are going to be
kids
like
to
you
feel...
and I and know way more than we ever should have.
Right,
at
and
a certain
I
age.
feel like I don't want my kids to ever feel like they can't feel comfortable coming to ask me about the things that they've heard, because why wouldn't I want to be the one to get the opportunity to explain something correctly to them?
Mom, what's a plumpkin?
So I really think
Ew.
I think that's a really appropriate way to look at it too, because we just had this conversation with my parents on Sunday. The running joke with my parents is that kids were paying me in school to ask my parents questions because I would ask them anything and everything, and my parents never lied to me, right? So they always told me the exact same thing that they would, tell me now as an
right.
adult, right? And my dad always treated me that way. He even, like, this is a little side tangent, but when I was born, he called me. He talked to me like I was an adult. He called me a little fucker and was like, you're not gonna fuck around. Like, this is the way shit's gonna be. And they're like, I guess a relative of some sort was like, you can't talk to your child that way. And he's like, fuck, I can. It's my kid. And since
Sounds
he's
exactly like your dad.
right, so since he's talked to me that way my entire life, it's instilled in like not just a trust boundary, but it's like made me who I am. And I wouldn't, not that we're gonna have kids, but if that was the case, I would want to do the same thing.
It's kind of
Right,
a.
and
We've
that's
talked
I
about
think that's
that.
kind of the same mindset that I have, except for the fact that, like I said, it would be more age appropriate for where they are at. That
and that's how it was
and
for
I
them
mean,
too.
I
Right.
was exposed to a lot of things growing up that like I wasn't ready for. I shouldn't have known those things because, frankly, looking back, if I had been more aware of the things that I was curious about or
Yeah.
hearing about or seeing or whatever, then I might have had somebody to ask about it, and I would have done things differently, or I would have been a different person because I would have known more about that thing instead of just like figuring it out by myself.
So I know this is kind of, we don't want to talk about this, but you're bringing up like points that I wanted to talk about today, and let's not get political with it. Everything you're fucking saying is how I was treated with like guns and drugs in the household, right? Not that you were exposed to that.
What do you mean?
But so there was just a shooting that just happened,
Mhm.
right? And this kid was exposed to something, clearly wasn't getting the right education and wasn't getting the right resources for everything in his life, whether it be gun safety, whether it be depression, whether it be, analyzation of his grades and his worth ethic in school. So like everything you're kind of like, I would want to make sure that my kids knew about this because education is key no matter what age you're at. So to know about what a Blumpkin is at the age of 5 is not necessary for the child to know that.
Right, but you can let them know that you would be happy to revisit that conversation with them at a
Exactly.
certain point.
I'll let you know when you're 18. All right?
Yeah, but
Like-
but on
They
the,
write Blumpkin down on their calendar.
but
No,
on the
right
10
on your
years
hand.
later.
but
Right
on
on
the
your hand.
opposite end of it, it's like when someone, if a kid were to come up and say like, why do people say guns are bad? Like,
Okay, actually, on that point,
Yeah.
not even just that. I'm gonna speak a little
Do
bit on
it,
something
yeah.
specific.
yeah,
But I'm not gonna mention too much because for their sake. But
yeah,
my heart breaks for my coworker
yeah,
who had to go pick up her 8-year-old child from school because
school.
of everything that's going
yeah,
on.
yeah.
And she runs up to her mom and says, "Mom, somebody had a gun at school. I thought I was gonna die." Like
Right.
scared things at 8 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're forcing parents, like parents are being forced into having this conversation with kids about like what
Domestic
that
terrorism.
means.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I do agree that there are things that you should be able to you should be teaching your kids about, but it depends on the environment you grow up in and the things around the house. You were raised knowing about guns because your dad wanted to have guns in the house.
Yeah.
So you needed to know how to be around them safely and
And you
be
have
trusted with
to,
them.
like,
Well, and-
if there's, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I don't know if we've talked about this on the podcast before, but 2 years ago probably was the first time I ever shot a gun.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And this is because I grew up in East Point, and in East Point, guns are bad, But in Armada, guns are for hunting.
And-
guns
and
are for guns are a
and
hobby.
exposing where we're all located. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
We've done that before.
It's fine. No one's listening.
Oh, okay. But in whatever, where I grew up, guns were scary. Where Vaux grew up, guns were a hobby. And it's just a different environment
Mm-hmm.
for that to be. So guns freak me out, But I mean, I do feel more safe sometimes around guns. But he grew up as like, this is what you do with guns. You don't, you don't
Yeah.
shoot people. You don't point them at people. You always
Yeah.
make sure, like, he was taught gun, and I don't know that much, but you and Bryce were clearly taught gun safety, and you were taught this is to be used when I'm around only, and when you're safe, and when we know that you're old enough, like, you can do your own thing with them. But they weren't just like, here's a gun, have fun with it.
Yeah, and a real big thing in building on that and what you said is that you kill the curiosity, because what do kids do when you say you can't touch that?
They touch it.
They
touch it.
want to fucking
Literally,
touch
my
it.
nephew just the other day in the car, he sees the trunk button, and I was like, "Nope, we're not going to push that button." And he looked at me and went like this, and just kept holding his finger over my hand, like just
Little
waiting for
shit.
the opportunity to push it. Because I told him no, that he couldn't
Yeah.
push it. So now he wants to do it more, see what it does.
Yeah,
So when he finally pushed it, I was like, "All right, come on." So I took him out of the car and I showed him what it did and opened the trunk. We got back in. He didn't touch it again.
See,
Right.
I still have those instincts now. Like, his dad was changing the wood in the fire, and he was using a glove to pick up the lid of it. And I was like, what would happen if you just didn't use the glove?
you're a psychopath.
You know?
You
we all
are
have
a
that. The call to
psychopath.
the void
Like,
and all that stuff. Like
my
we
mind
have
always
that.
goes that way. I'm like, like,
That's a dangerous mindset. And let me tell you why.
I know I would never do
Bruh,
that.
I feel it.
I
Yeah.
would not do that.
Let
but, like,
me-
my mind is like, come on. Like, I just want to grab it. I just want to do it.
Call of the Void is heavy on me. Like,
Yeah, And
every day.
You're lucky you don't have depression, because Call of the Void,
Yeah.
you'll kill yourself.
Oh my God, every day.
'Cause I got
no
over
matter
that.
What,
Because I got over that. Because I was like, what would just happen if I just did it?
oh,
What would
But
happen?
oh,
I've had that forever. Like
My
I always
therapist got
have
me
that.
over
There's
that.
there's Call to the Void, and then there's another term
I don't even know
for
what
it.
that means.
yeah,
but-
there's another term for
well,
it.
So it's essentially like when you're driving and you just have this thought of like, what if I just turned off the road over at this
Yep.
overpass and like went down to the,
Oh,
the
it's
lane
like
below
that,
and like
that TikTok that's like,
Yeah.
"Ee."
Yeah.
like I literally be driving and my brain will do that and I'll like I'll like tense up because like I'm literally like vividly imagining a car accident
That's
that
why I
I'm
used
in
to smoke
in
when
my
I
head.
drove.
But
Or like roller coasters.
I've told Mark like yes, depression, anxiety, all that stuff. And Call to the Void, I feel that very strongly. That's why I don't like being in the car by myself and not on the phone with somebody or something.
I've never even heard that
But
term
I've
before.
never ever had like a suicidal thought, honestly.
Well, you're lucky.
And I mean I
Oops.
can never understand that thought. Like I can't understand how
Love
it
you.
feels to actually
Love you.
have that thought. I know that it happens. I know there's no need for me to understand it because it's not something I'm going through. It's somebody else's deal. But I don't think that they're necessarily go hand in hand. That depression and that goes hand in hand. It's just kind of the way that our brains, pursue curiosity and like the
Yeah.
what if, the not knowing.
As far as the Call of the Void goes, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more of a curiosity thing.
I'm a very
but
curious person.
I think the actual the curiosity thing of what happens if I touch that hot stove or whatever, like that's not the same as the Call of the Void. The Call of the Void is literally like a that would probably kill me. What if I did that? Like
Yeah.
it's a deep dark longing to try it is what it is, and it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
That's what I'm saying. You're super lucky that you don't like have a depression state of thought, because you'd probably end up killing yourself. Especially if you're like, that's 1,000 degrees. What happens if I poked it with my finger? And in our case, it was like, what happens if I put my head inside of it?
Yup. Yep.
Jeez.
I got over it. I'm not there anymore. I haven't been there for a long time.
I used to work at a place. I used to work at a place where I actually worked around several 700-degree ovens, and I would take my hand with my oven glove on, and I'd run it along the conveyor belt inside the oven, and just feel it heating up and literally burning the glove. And I'd look at it and I'd go,
Magma.
awesome. And I'd watch it just fucking singeing, and I'm like, that'd be great.
You know where
nope, you know what? We're going to walk away.
This is so it's the spider web thing is where I think it happens, and that's how like kids, like what you were saying with, I'm assuming John, your nephew, would be the one that was pushing the button, but like
Yeah.
that the spider webbing thing is what's really curious, because where my tendency started with that was in high school. I wanted to know what it would be like if I just spit on someone square in their face while I was talking to them. Swear to God. It would come to me in an instant where I'm just like, I have a loogie in my mouth and I want to huck it at your face.
Intrusive thoughts was the other term.
Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you done that?
No, I've never have, and
You
I
spit in my mouth before.
It's literally
Yeah.
like
You're
living
welcome.
like in
No.
movies when you watch like in Horrible Bosses where he like beats up his boss and stuff, and then it snaps back to where he's just
That's
sitting
an
there
intrusive
taking the
thought.
that's
shit.
an intrusive
That's
thought.
that's
Yeah.
That's not a Call of the
Exact-
Void. That's an intrusive
I've
thought.
never
That's
felt.
insane.
I've
Yeah.
never really.
And I love intrusive thoughts. I'm comfortable with. Those are cool. Those are fine.
I get intrusive thoughts.
I get them
Do
all.
you
Yeah.
actually like have like an not out of body experience, but like kind of like?
Oh, I
you just-
fantasize
Yes,
about
full thing.
smashing people's skulls in while they're talking to
Yep.
me.
Yep.
And that's why I'm saying that's where it
How
all
do you
started for me.
listen? Like you're just not listening to
For
them.
this, for the same reason that I can listen to both you two having a conversation about peanut butter and us two about having.
Congrats
conversation
for
about
you,
jelly.
because I can't do that. So
Well, you're deaf in one ear, bro.
No,
Your
no, no,
your
no, no.
equilibrium's
No, no, no.
all
it's,
fucked
no,
up.
It's different. It's different. So if I'm, I literally zone out. I
No,
zone
I
out.
don't.
I zone out often,
I don't.
and I just don't explain to people that I zone out all the time. Like if they wonder what the fuck I'm doing and why I wasn't responding to them, yeah, I'll tell them, hey, sorry, I fucking zoned out. But I could be in the middle of work, still doing what I'm doing, knowingly doing the right things with my hands, and I am not paying attention to shit in front of me. In my head, I have some other shit going on, and I'm stuck in that for the next probably 15, 20 minutes.
Oh damn! I mean, I do have moments where like someone's talking to me, and then I'm like, I literally did not even hear a word that you just said to me.
There's terms for all this stuff. That's dissociation.
Sometimes I say like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, can you repeat that? My computer was frozen
while
or
talking to
something.
Mark.
Like,
Can you start back when you said hi? My name is.
I instantly was thinking about Eminem, and it's all I've been listening to in my head this whole time.
I'm listening to you, and then all of a sudden you start crying, and I have no idea what's going on. So
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I
my life.
try my best not to do that with him and with like my friends. Like, I mean, I do it with like,
She does it with me
members
often.
all the time.
So not
No,
only
do I?
and this is why people don't
I
understand.
don't mean to.
I know, but you do.
This is why people don't understand how I work.
You do
Is
that
like
to me.
I tell people, yeah, I'm deaf, but telling them I'm deaf doesn't really solve the problem.
Yeah, because 9
So-
times out of 10, they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't hear a lot of stuff too," and I'm like, "He's like, no, like actually, I'm."
Well, that's
I
it.
really
Yeah.
am.
Mark
Like,
says he's deaf, and I'm like, you're not deaf like Mark is deaf.
No.
Right.
But I'm deaf.
So like
Or,
I'm
like,
literally
Your mom.
I'm literally like legally deaf. On top of that, I have a sensory issue where if a lot of sounds are happening at once, it becomes a sound soup. And I can't pick certain sounds out of that soup.
That's
Good-
a mixture of
good
your
soup.
brain and the
Good soup.
ability to hear.
My
do not
brain
like
my
that
brain
TikTok.
can't
Right.
process, like that's why I can't understand lyrics in music sometimes. I just can't pick up lyrics.
Yeah, I can't find a new song and be like, Mark, listen to this and tell me what you think.
What do you
because
think of
he's
the
gonna be like,
lyrics?
I need
What
time and a
lyrics?
couple of days of listening to
Let
this
me
to tell
listen
you
to that
what's happening.
about 9 times more, and I'll probably tell you
Oh my
what the
God.
chord
Let me
sounds
look
like.
up the lyrics.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
tell you
That's how I
feel
have to
about
learn it. And then on top of that,
What's happening?
I have ADHD, which makes it worse. And then I have this zone out issue and intrusive thoughts and all of the above. So like someone will be talking to me in my face. Like you said, a member will come up to you and you'll just zone out. You'll be like, I'm sorry, what did you say?
Mm-hmm.
That happens to me so often to where most people after they already know I'm deaf, they're like, oh, he just didn't hear anything I said. And I'm like, oh no, I heard you.
I just wasn't
I didn't
listening.
process any of that. I literally
no.
like the last 3 minutes of conversation we just had where I just nodded and smiled. I got nothing, bud. I don't know what to tell you. And that's just my life.
Just nod and wave, boys.
Yeah.
Smile and wave.
Smile and wave?
Yeah.
And most of the
Smile
time
and
it's
wave,
people
boys.
that like they're
What is that
on
from?
this topic.
Madagascar.
Oh, okay.
Most
That's what it
most
is.
of the time, most of the time they're on this conversation and they're just on this train of thought, and you don't want to interrupt them because that's even more
It
rude
makes
than
me
the
so
fact
no. It makes me so mad because you wait till I finish the last word and then you're like, "Can you repeat that?" And
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
do that. I do
all
that
of
to
it?
Vox. I'm
And
like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry I wasn't listening. Like, I'm
But
listening
you know what
now.
you can't do? It's not that you can't hear or can't pay attention. She just can't fucking multitask.
Yes, I can.
Bitch, no, you
we
can't.
literally talk and do the dishes all the time.
Okay, let me rephrase it.
You
She
have to. It
can't-
has to be a mindless task for the other one.
drone
You can't
task,
do, you can't do
mind
attention
task.
tasks
It's
at the
different.
same time.
She
I'm the
can't
same
be
way.
on her phone and talk to me at the same time.
Right.
It just can't happen.
Car can't do it either.
I'm on the phone with her, typing an email and listening to someone at the window at the exact same time at work.
Okay.
All the
well,
time.
You're like, I'm watching Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max and also listening to every single album on the planet and
While also
on
listening
the
to
phone.
a podcast.
Yeah. While also my boss is telling me what to do for the day. It's like,
And you'll absorb all of
you
it somehow.
are. You are. Yes, you are. You'll literally
Bitch,
be listening to
we have
music
a
and
podcast
watching
where
a
you
fucking
mentioned
TV
that.
show, and you're at work.
I
How?
yeah.
And he's
How?
writing for D&D while he's talking
Yeah.
to his boss.
Dude,
I can't do that.
I get that. I can multitask.
No,
I
do that.
I can't hold
multitask. I thought
I can't hold three
multitasking
separate
was,
conversations
two
like
things
that.
at the same time.
It is two things, but it's where your
Two or
attention.
more.
It's where your attention.
My attention is
span-
on the dishes,
It's
the TV,
It's a mindless
the
task.
TV.
well, oh,
Sorry.
don't yell at me.
Doing dishes is like you only have to pay attention for a second to grab the next thing, and then you can just mindlessly wipe. It takes
Oh.
very, very little attention. But like scrolling through your phone and absorbing the information that you're looking at, commenting,
texting.
liking, and whatever, and like intaking the information from him, you got two inputs that just they can't process at
Yeah.
the same
Like,
time.
I can text and listen to you guys and have music going all the same
I can do the
time.
same,
And
But sometimes I'll
an
jumble up
overload.
words.
Mm-mm.
But like if Cara comes up to me while I'm at work and I'm working on my thing, like I can do my thing while she's talking to me. I know I can. I know I'm capable of it. But I also know that the chance is that if I'm in the middle of a task and she's talking to me and I'm trying to focus on my conversation with her, I will fuck up this task. The chances go up that I'll fuck up that task. Odds are pretty slim I'm going to fuck it up because it's a very routine thing that I'm doing the same thing over and over again. But I know my chances go drastically up that I'm going to fuck it up if I'm paying full attention to something else. So I will stop and I will pay attention.
And then you're not doing
and then
your
I get
job.
yelled at for not working. I'm like,
I wish I could get Luke on the line right now because he came into my office today. I had the phone in my hand, like in my shoulder. Derek was talking to me on this end while I was writing stuff down, as well as paying attention to the fucking live chat thing that I was going on it with the Eric and Mike up front.
while with the other hand you were typing an email just like this.
I wasn't typing an email. No, I was just writing stuff.
And then you had,
But I had like 3 things going on, and Luke goes, "Busy day, eh?"
while your feet were working.
And then you were probably able to have a conversation with Luke.
I did have a conversation
Yeah.
with Luke after that, yeah,
At
because
the
he
same
was
time.
talking about Spider-Man and all that other crazy
I don't know. So like you're so capable of multitasking that you can balance several plates at once, and I don't know how you manage that. I don't know
I'm
if
very
that's
jealous of
a.
it.
I
Me
am
too.
very
I
jealous.
I guess
of
I
that.
never really realized.
I
it.
can balance maybe 2 or 3. You can balance like 6, and I don't understand.
Yeah, I guess I never really realized it. But
Once I get to that point, like where I'm trying to balance too many plates, my brain goes, "Nope, sorry, bud. This is all crashing down
Well,
all at once every time."
I've sent you guys pictures. I have my iPad playing a movie, and then I do have music going
It's terrifying
in the
actually.
background with my email on one screen and my work on the other screen. And then if people are talking to me at the window, I can just go for it. I guess I never really comprehended how actually crazy that is, because that sounds psychotic when I think about it. But
Dude,
I can do it, I guess.
it's nuts.
Well,
It's nuts.
I
So-
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. My brain is very mechanical.
So
I guess.
Kara's giving me shit. Like back when I played Call of Duty a lot, she'd call me and I'd be on the phone with her. And like when I was younger, I could fucking demolish Call of Duty while I'm still on the phone with her, no problem, right?
Smash
And
that
I'm doing
Call of Duty
great,
booty.
right? And I'm doing great. Now, I have such a focus issue that like if I'm on the phone with her, I might as well just fucking log out of the game, like
He can't multitask while he's playing a game and talk to me on the phone.
because
Yeah.
Because I'm like, why am I even talking right now? Sorry, I'm in a game. I'm like, well, then why are you answering the phone?
Well,
Like,
because
to
he's
be-
trying not to be rude.
yeah. To
I
be
get
fair,
that, but it's more rude for me to be talking and like telling, like venting about my day, and then for him to be like, oh shit, and I'm like, you're not. Are you even listening to me? Yeah, I'm listening. I'm just in a game. I'm like, but you're not listening.
But he is listening.
I don't think so.
No.
He's listening. He's
It's
just
just-
not
sometimes-
responding.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, did you hear anything I just said? No, I'm sorry. Like I was playing a game.
Yeah, that's fair. But
Sorry, I died like 6 times.
on the other end of it, like a majority of the games that I do play are very complex, right?
Yeah.
So they involve a lot of attention from me in multiple areas. Like
Yeah.
Magic has 10,000 things
Because you have
going
to be like
on
actively
all at
involved
once.
in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And you
Or
can't,
Dota's
you can't
the
pause
worst.
those games either.
No, Dota is the
The
fucking
games you
worst.
play can't be paused.
No,
So you
I
just
didn't.
gotta figure out like when you're venting, be like, hey, do you have time for me to vent? And then like he knows like either he's got to stop playing the game or like save it till you get home, and then he can like focus or something.
Yeah.
So Kara
'Cause
will
that's-
start
that's
venting
the
to
best
me.
way.
But then sometimes
Yeah.
I don't call him when I'm on my way home. He's like, why don't you call me? I'm like, I
Because you're
just-
supposed to call me and tell me you're on your way home.
okay,
Why?
but
Because he
sometimes
has
it's
to get
not
the other
worth it
girl
for me
out.
to call.
You don't have to tell me about your entire day from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. You just have to say, hey, I'm on my way home. And I'd be like, thank you for letting me know. So I didn't,
yeah, but
so you
sometimes
didn't get
sometimes you start talking. It's
And
not like
here's
you're
the
just like,
thing.
thanks, see you when you get home.
Here's the dynamic between Kara and I. She will call me saying, yeah, I'm on my way home, and then she'll start venting, and I'll be like, why are you telling me this? You're gonna continue venting when you get home. Like, just
She
get
does
off the
that.
phone and drive safe.
Well, she does that.
What?
And
we have a conversation, and then you walk in the door and continue the same conversation.
Yeah.
it's the same conversation
Yeah.
every time. Yeah,
But it's
That's
not the
fine.
same.
There's
It's
nothing
like
wrong
a
with
It's
continuation.
perfectly
of the
fine
conversation.
Oh,
to
yeah,
have
yeah,
that
yeah.
conversation when you
Yeah.
get home as well. It's just-
Unless it's something that I'm thinking about right now and I'm gonna forget about it.
Exactly, and that's why
And that's
if
how
I'm
my
in the
brain
middle of doing
works.
something and Kara's like,
Women.
hey, and she starts venting, and I'm just like, I don't want to interrupt you because I know, one, you'll be frustrated that I'm interrupting you and saying, hey, I'm in the middle of this game and I can't fucking pause right now. And I also know that if I interrupt you and say, hey, just talk to me about this when you get home, you're going to get home and you're going to be like, I don't know what I was saying.
Yes.
Not just that, but like sometimes if it's like
Yes.
I think of it when we're at home together and I'm like start telling him about it and he's like either busy with something or like in his game or whatever, I'll be like, okay, and I go away and then I don't feel like talking about it anymore. Like I don't want to talk about it
I
She
do
anymore.
shuts
that.
down.
And then
Yeah.
he's like, what did you want to say? What did you want to say? And I'm like, I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it.
I
Yeah,
do
like
that
I'm
a
no
lot.
longer mad about it, or like I don't even want to get
I'm
mad
mad at
about
a new
it.
thing now. You.
Yeah.
You. Yeah, I do that a lot though. Where it's exhausting for me to talk sometimes. Because there's a lot.
Exhausting to listen.
I feel ignored a lot.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
feel
feel-
ignored?
I feel ignored a lot. Like a lot. And it's not just Kara. It's fucking everybody.
You're ignoring him?
Oh yeah, she does a lot.
Oh.
Quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She does it on purpose too. She knows.
Like I
it
hear the
bothers me.
things that he says, and then I'm like, well, I'm still gonna do that thing.
And-
So then he feels ignored.
And then on top of that, she's like 20 minutes later, I'll be like pissed off, and she's like, "Why are you so mad?" I'm like, "You never responded to me about this." And she's like, "Oh, it definitely responded in my head." That happens so often.
Ew.
So
Ew.
often.
I would
say
hate to
you?
have a conversation in my head with someone and then have to redo that conversation.
That's Kara. That is
Ah.
Kara.
I do. I mean, sometimes I will say stuff, and I'm like, "Have I told you?" Like, there's some times where like I'll be telling a story to like one of my friends or even Vox. I'm like, "Did I tell you this already?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay," because like sometimes I just forget.
Yeah,
If I
and you,
told
So
someone-
you
Kara tells those
reiterate a
stories.
lot.
Kara tells those stories in her head, and then she's like,
Okay.
"Yeah, I totally
yeah, then I'm
told
like,
you
yeah,
about
we're
that."
going to this thing. I told you about it yesterday, and you were like,
No,
no,
you
we didn't even
fucking
talk
See,
yesterday.
but then when I reiterate, he's like, "You told me this already," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
Well,
but then
that's
when I don't
fine.
tell him something, he's like, "You didn't tell me." I'm like, "Well, I thought I already told you."
That's your fault.
But
Yeah.
No. Listen,
I don't wanna
listen to
keep
yourself.
repeating myself.
Stop here. Listen to yourself. You said when you told him something, he tells you, "You told me this already."
well, it's embarrassing to be told you told me this already.
No.
You've been
It's
with me for
fine
5
to
years.
say-
Why is it embarrassing?
It's just embarrassing to tell the same story. I feel like I
You feel like
I
you're
have
annoying
dementia
him.
or
Yeah.
something.
But that's there's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like there's a lot wrong
I'd
with
rather
it.
you repeat it instead of not telling me at all.
Right.
Because then I'd be like, "What the fuck? We're doing
Then
what
you, then you
today?"
spring you do
There's
ca- you do pull a
whole
car and spring
psychological thing
plans
about
on
this,
him
okay?
two minutes before
think
you're
there
supposed
is.
Oh
to
yeah, I
be
forgot
there.
we're
for
running
sure.
we're running a half marathon on Sunday morning.
It's the women versus the men. That's what
We'll
what it
win,
is.
It's fine.
No, it's not about winning. It's about the
No,
mentality.
shut up. It's always about winning.
We're
No.
winning.
to
We're
Mark, it
men.
literally
It's
is all about winning.
Oh, God.
Sometimes.
Like we've had this conversation multiple times, and we ended up having like a really, really good one, like a week or so ago. But I'm like, why? Like,
I
do
may
you,
or may not have cried
like, do
real
you
tears.
hear yourself sometimes when like I'm just telling you something, and your response is immediately like, well, that wouldn't have happened if you wouldn't have done this. I'm like, why does there have to be somebody to blame? Just hear what I'm saying about what's going
You
on.
see the
You know
look
what I mean?
she's giving me right now?
But like that's the point. And he
It's-
was like,
it's right
he's
here.
like, you're right. I do say that, and I like he doesn't mean it to be what it is. But I'm like, I don't want your response to be like blaming somebody, because it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It matters what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and like how do we move forward from that?
di-
you
yeah,
know?
I'm different.
Yeah,
in
because
the-
he's always like, if you would have just done this, and I'm like, okay, or like he'll tell me like how I should have handled the situation. I'm like, but I didn't handle it that way. So
Yeah.
like now this is the situation, and now I'm upset about it, or now this is what we have to deal with. But you telling me how I should have handled the situation isn't gonna help me with how I did handle the situation.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right with that.
But
100%
Gotta find this
right.
thing Mark sent me.
but
But
yes, I was waiting for it.
if you're being told how you should have handled the
was so
situation,
loud.
that was very loud. Why was that so loud?
Because she held it right next to me.
But we're telling you how to handle the situation for the future, not just for now. We're not trying to solve your situation right now by telling you, "Oh, well, you shouldn't have done this."
But it doesn't help me when I'm upset about
So,
something.
here's
It
the
doesn't.
thing
It
that-
doesn't help me to tell me that I handled the situation in a way that he wouldn't have handled the situation. That doesn't help me in the moment. Like talking to me about it and then just being like, you know what? Maybe next time, like, don't call that girl a bitch. You know?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
so Mark-
Yeah, always
Mark-
call her a bitch. Always call
Mark
her a
sent
bitch.
me something the other day, and I can't find it in our chat right now. But it was a very, very good point, and it was like a husband and wife sharing that the day, like they would go to marriage counseling, like just as a part of their regular life to maintain their relationships and stuff or something. And the best advice that they ever got was using the question, like, do you want support or a solution?
Yes.
Before answering.
We've talked about
because
that.
then you actually get the opportunity to be like, okay, you don't want advice from me, you just want me to listen to you, and it saves that whole argument of like unwanted constructive criticism.
But that constructive criticism is neither support or solution in the instance.
I feel like
because,
it's a solution.
because it's not, because
falls under
your
solution.
solution, what you want, is help right now. It's not necessarily support. You're saying that doesn't help me right now, right? So are you looking for support in that moment, or are you looking for a solution to how to fix the problem you're in at the moment?
Well, it could
You're
be
looking for both.
It could be either the solution to the problem at the moment or solution to how to prevent that situation again. That still
Exactly.
falls under solution. Support is just support doesn't consume solution.
Support
So-
is being like, yeah, she is a bitch.
You have to
Solution is
consider
just
this.
call her a bitch.
You have to consider the differences between men and women and how we work, okay? Men are typically much more logical, okay? We try to think of how to fix things. We try to think of how to solve issues. And when you tell us something and there's an issue and we say, well, if you wouldn't have done this, that's us saying, hey, you can prevent this in the future. That's not us saying,
Triggered.
that's not necessarily us saying, well, this is your fucking fault and this is why.
Yes, but it feels that way.
It feels that way.
I know
Feels
it
that
feels
way.
that way.
And-
And every time when I say that, when that comes out of my mouth, I know that's what it's sounding like. Every time I know it is.
But in honesty too, with what you just said, you're basically saying like, if you want to talk to me about something, know your audience before you choose to talk to me. And that's not fair, because
In a
I'm
way-
not looking for a specific person to talk to.
But I sent
about
you
something.
that because I wanted you to learn. Like, if you tell me, hey, I need your support on this, then you'll get my support. I won't fucking tell you what you did wrong. I'll help you. I'll be there for you. I'll fucking give you a hug and pat your butt and make you feel better.
Everyone loves a butt pat.
Fuck yeah, they do.
Actually, I don't.
That's not true. I patted your butt and you've been pretty enjoyable about it.
What do you want me to do? Bite your head off and say,
Yes.
"Don't pat my butt"?
Don't threaten me with a good
I
time.
mean, I feel like you would if you didn't like it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't like butt.
Anyways,
don't pat my butt.
you know, and I'll support you fully. I'll be there for you as your friend, as your best friend, as your partner, as your husband. I'll be there for you. But if you're looking for a solution and you tell me that, I'm gonna give you what you don't want to fucking hear. I'm gonna give you the honest to God solution, the real perspective on it, and I'm honest, and I've been brutally so, and I apologize for that all the time because I do hurt your feelings, and I hurt a lot of people's feelings because I am an asshole, and I'm sorry. But I tell you the way things are because it's the truth.
You can't hurt what I don't have, bitch. And I ain't got no.
No,
feelings.
you're right though. I would rather have Vaux tell me the truth. He always asks. He's like, "Would you rather me lie to you?"
And
I'm
that-
like, "No.
point blank,
I'd
that's
rather
what it
you
is.
tell me the truth." But like sometimes it hurts my feelings, or sometimes it makes me
And I
upset.
tell you too, don't ask questions if you don't want the answer.
stupid
Mm.
questions get stupid answers. I mean,
No question's ever stupid, but most of them
But-
can result in not favorable answers.
Yeah.
That's,
I mean, if you're don't ask a question you're not willing to get the answer to. You
Yeah.
know, like if you're gonna
on
wear
the winning thing.
if
I
you're
like
gonna
that.
wear some fucking parachute pants and you say, "Hey, honey, does this make my ass look big?"
Nah, it makes your ass look
anything
saggy because parachute
makes my
pants.
ass look big, so I can't really.
No,
ask
honey,
that
your
question.
ass makes your ass look big.
On your mention of it's all about winning, right? I have that mentality,
we like
right?
winning.
But I've been trying to be better with that, a lot so, like recently as well, because when I was really competitive into like video games, especially, if I didn't win, I was fucking livid, right? Like it would ruin my night.
Mm-hmm.
And even she noticed that. She
Until
was
you
like,
started playing with actual friends.
well, no, because I played Dota with my friends for years, and when we started losing a lot, it was like I was fucking pissed all the time. She was like, you want to play Dota to have fun, but then when you lose, you get into a terrible, terrible mood, right? So
Competitive games
Right,
are
like
not
you're
for
not
fun.
having fun when you're like coming to bed in a bad mood because all you did was lose. Like you're like it should just be like, it sucks, but like we had fun, you know? And like I try sometimes I can be
Excuse
a
me.
sore loser, but I try and just be like, you know what, it was fun. You know, it was competitive. Like it wasn't like this one person was dominating the whole thing or whatever. I felt like there was no chance, but like usually it's a fun competition and it's like, you know what, whatever. And
Well,
win,
like
but-
two things that happened more recently that helped me out with that. Number one is DMing, right? Because
There's no winning in D&D.
DMs lose.
Nobody
Like,
wins in D&D.
Right.
Nobody.
And sometimes DMs just roll nat 20s every
D&D
all
week.
the time,
Yeah.
right? But
D&D is just a story.
I know, I'm
Nobody
gonna switch
wins that
die with
story.
you.
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, like DMs lose because you guys are the heroes who are supposed to be killing the bad guys, and I'm the bad
I
guy,
mean,
right?
hey, we
So-
well,
do
and
a
we
fucking
don't do
villain
what you
story if
want
you
us
wanna
to
do
do
that.
sometimes.
I would never do a villain story.
Oh, it sounds so much
Maybe.
fun.
Maybe like a one shot, but regardless. So that really helps a lot.
We should
The
do that
other
against
thing,
Kara. Kara's a DM for that.
the other thing that has really helped me is like us playing Magic more regularly. Like I play online, which I'm really competitive online, but like us playing Magic at the table when we're like bouncing things off of each other. Mark and I played. This is nerd tangent, but Mark and I played the other night, and he had the most difficult decision I've ever seen him make at the table, and I was like, "Oh boy, you have a decision to make." And I was hoping he would make the other one because that would mean I would win.
Yeah.
But he made the right decision, and all I could say was like, "That was the smartest
That was-
shit.
that was
Like
the
that was
right
the
fucking
best
choice.
fucking play I've
Right
seen."
off the bat, he's like, that was the right choice.
I was
yeah,
like,
the other
holy
week,
shit.
the other week when you guys played, when I was out, I was like, "Did you have fun?" You're like, "Yeah, I had fun." I was like, "Did you win?" And he was like, "No." Like Mark won both. Mark kicked my ass both games, but like it was still a lot of fun.
That was our first
And-
weekly game.
That was a second.
3 weeks ago.
Second,
No, the
because
first
you guys
one.
played
No,
the first time
the
I
first
rolled.
one I
you
won.
did
And then
beat
I
both.
went.
Yeah.
And you were the third.
Yep.
You were in the third, and I stomped your ass. I stomped both of your asses. And after that game, I was like, that wasn't even that fun. I was like, I literally destroyed them.
Sometimes
like,
dominating isn't fun.
I was like,
Right.
fuck,
And-
man.
You played your fucking land destruction deck against me, and we were laughing the whole
Oh,
time.
man, that
because
sucked.
it's a dick deck, but
That
we were
sucked.
laughing the
I didn't quit
entire
because
time.
I lost, by the way. I was actually that
I know you were
tired.
tired. Well, you laid down and then immediately fell asleep in like
Yeah.
3 minutes. So I know you didn't quit
Yes.
because you were.
I was very comfortable
upset
just
that you
like
lost.
being there to join you guys and then sleeping.
Yeah, I was just really excited to, play that, and that's why I want to talk your bitch ass into getting the mood of getting regular decks together and like, because we're doing this.
Working
Like,
on it.
it's something that we used to do 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where I came over every Tuesday, and we played games at your kitchen. Well, games of Magic at your kitchen table.
I missed
Yep.
that.
And it was like we did Magic Tuesdays, and that was it, because I had Dota Wednesdays, and those were my two like dude nights, and hanging out with my bros.
That was
So,
just
like-
easier
Kara.
though because you were living in Armada at the time.
Yeah, but guess
so-
what? Now we're both living
I
in,
know,
in
I
where
know.
we're at. I'm
Now,
not gonna
now it's
mention
even
that, but-
more convenient than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like to come over, or I can come over, and we do one once a night, fucking Magic. Like, dude, you're like, oh, I have deck techs, and I'm like, you have deck techs? Like, I've already ordered cards. I'm like, get ready, bitch.
I didn't say anything about deck techs.
You said you had a few ideas
I
together,
said I had ideas.
which is a deck tech.
Deck
In my-
tech?
yeah.
Tech tech.
A deck
Tech-
tech is when
tech-
you fucking look up the deck tech online and
No,
you
no,
say
no.
this is good.
Oh yeah. And I like doing that too. But
I,
no, I'm
I
saying
come
like
up with
I got
ideas on my own, and I'm like, that sounds interesting.
And
Let's see.
did
if
he
it
tell you
works.
about his bullshit on my front porch the other night?
Oh my god.
Did he tell you about this? So we're talking about building commander decks, which is for people who are
Nerd talk.
listening. It's a specific form of Magic play, but you have to have one specific card that leads the deck. And I was like, I have a new one that I'm ready to build, and because it's cheap and I'm ready to roll. And he's like, I'm gonna guess it. I was like, you're never gonna guess this.
Yeah, he's like,
You're
you'll
not
never
gonna-
get it. He's like, I've never even heard the set it came out of, and I'm like, okay, what color is it? And he goes, yes. I'm like, okay, so it's all 5 colors.
Jesus, Tosh.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I'm like, give me a couple minutes, and I open up
it wasn't even a couple
specific
minutes. That's
website.
what pissed me off.
I literally Googled, and about 10 seconds later, I go, is it a control deck? And he goes, yeah. I'm like, it's Shaw of the Valara. And he goes, what the fuck did you just
I
do?
want to go back and look at my camera because you're on my front porch. I want to go back because I was literally like, what? Like that gif of the guy like having his mind blown.
Mhm.
Ooh.
There's only one other. By the way,
I'm
there
like,
was
what
there was
the
a second
fuck,
card off the
man?
top of my head that also would have fit precisely that I want to use as a commander as well.
The slug?
Uh,
Then no, it's not the slug. 'Cause that's a no one.
Fuck, what is it called?
It doesn't matter. It's just like I was mind blown.
Reaper King.
So I was like, so here's my thing with Mark. I often think he's bullshitting when it comes to his knowledge of magic.
I know. All the time I struggle with this.
You know what I
All
mean?
the fucking
Because
time.
I'm like, okay, you're rattling off names. Who gives a fuck? Continue with your story. And then we're talking the other night, and he goes, wait, look up this card, and pulls a fucking name out of his asshole and says, look it up. And it's a 10-year-old card.
Mhm.
And he knows exactly what's on the cover. He knows the color. He knows what the
I
verbiage
described
is.
it to a T
And
to
I'm
him.
like,
so frustrating.
I'm like,
'cause
who the fuck are you? You're like the dumbest smart person I've ever met in my entire life, and you're just drawing things like this out of your dumb
I swear to
mind.
God, if I had $1 for every time I've been told I'm the dumbest smart person
You are
somebody's
so
ever met,
stupid.
I'd have several dollars.
For
You-
real.
At least 5.
At least 5.
You're
probably
so
a couple of them from Vaux.
yeah, you're so dumb, but you're so smart. Like some of the things, I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Sometimes I can just pull some shit like
You frustrate me so much because you state facts sometimes, and I'm
And it's
like,
always about
and I was
winning.
like,
And-
it's literally
right?
bullshit. Like
It's
you're full
the,
of shit.
The full circle
It's to
conversation.
win the
It's
conversation.
always about winning.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'll pull facts out of my ass out of fucking nowhere,
I have
and
to
she'll just
pee,
be
man.
like, "Dude, I don't know how much of that is bullshit."
Right, because I
I'm
can't
so good
verify
at
it.
bullshitting.
What?
Like, if I lie, you just unplugged everything, dude.
didn't. It's just the headphones.
Wow.
Okay. Just the headphones.
So now we just
Okay,
couldn't
because I was
hear
like,
what we
I
were-
heard nothing. I don't know what happened.
We all lived like Mark for a second.
We're all like,
We all turned deaf.
I mean, no, I mean, kind of, but
we all knew what it was like to be you.
you could all hear me. It was fine.
Yeah, because you're so loud.
True.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being loud, by the way. It makes life easier.
I try. Honestly, it's not on purpose, but
I
I'm
know it's
glad.
because you're Italian.
I'm
but
glad that I can service you.
You. I swear to God, if Vaux doesn't cut that 2 nights. Me too, Tosh. Me too.
With my voice.
With your mouth. I'm glad you can service me with your mouth, Tosh. What? Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. I am dying.
Vox.
He heard. He
You-
heard.
Oh my God.
I'm not the deaf one. Just so
You need to clip all of that.
You're the deaf one.
I am the deaf one. Yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah. You need to clip all of that.
Well, and
My
that's the
girlfriend
thing.
being a
Like,
dirty whore.
My dad has been like quiet his whole like not his whole life,
Your
but
dad is
he's
very
been told
soft-spoken.
he's been told that he's too loud, so he's been quieter, and now he's soft spoken, and like half the time at D&D people don't hear him, and I'm like, that was funny, Dad, haha, and I'm like trying to like
Oh, I hear
bring
him.
attention to him, but
No, I
you
I
know.
pulled him aside a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Hey, Jack," I'm like, I know. Naturally, you feel like you're loud. Can you speak up a bit? And he's like, "Oh yeah, no problem."
yeah, he has no problem being loud.
Yeah,
He just has
C-
probably like
he's just-
toned it down.
he's like me, I'm sure, where he's been told you're loud as shit, and he gets quieter.
Yeah.
I just never really got quieter because I need to be able to hear myself. And
But that's the
sorry,
thing.
y'all.
Like he doesn't want to scream across the table and be like, "Mark, did you hear my joke?" You know, because it's like that's weird.
You know what though?
But
I can-
he would totally do that, and like everyone would still laugh again. So
Kyler sits closer to me, and I can hear. And Kyler sits closer to me, but he sits kind of to my right, and Jack is basically right across from me. I can hear Jack pretty clearly most of the time. I can't hear shit Kyler says when
He's
in character.
gravelly.
When
Yeah.
he's in character,
He's
I can't
gravelly.
hear. I can't understand.
He
a
has
word.
what I call the Kyler voice, and it's
He just gets this rogue character in his mind.
yeah, it's really gravelly.
It's pure private detective from 1983.
we need subtitles for D&D.
I need subtitles for Kyler.
Could you imagine?
We were we were listening to a podcast, and I could not, for some reason, I could not understand what was going on. I was like, I wish there were like subtitles for podcasts sometimes.
I need
Like
to
when
get,
you're
like,
not driving, that you could like sit there and read it.
I need to get like Google Glass. You know what? It's funny you say that because you're like you want to be able to read a podcast, but then you listen to audiobooks instead of reading the book.
But
my God.
actually, a lot of the time I do. I'll when I
You do
rent.
both.
Yeah, like I'll have a book. I'll have a physical book, and I'll be like, oh, let me find the audiobook. So when I can't read, I'm listening. But when I can read, I'm reading.
I
Like
just
I'm doing that
wish-
with Midnight Sun right now.
I just wish Google Glass was capable of being
Wasn't
able to,
terrible.
What is
Right.
Google Glass?
Google
Yes.
Glass is it's literally a pair of glasses that Google made that you can put on your head, and it's got a camera, it can record, and it's got augmented reality in them. So like it can present you with things in front of you on a screen.
It's like
It's
some,
awful.
It's
It's
like some
ass.
Dragon Ball Z bullshit.
It's ass. The only thing it's good for is
Yeah.
is for making POV videos. Like we were at, you made that face. You instantly thought of porn.
Yep.
Yeah. Also good for that apparently. But we
Apparently,
were at.
Mark likes that
I
genre.
do. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Ew.
That's a weird genre.
That's the
But
best
it like
genre.
puts yourself in the perspective of the person.
You're gonna get an Oculus and just watch a bunch of porn in there.
That's the best genre.
I'm taking your Christmas present back.
You got him an Oculus for
Like,
Christmas?
I would've got it for
hang on,
myself
Vaux.
if I was
Would you
getting
rather
it.
watch another dude fuck a girl, or would you rather watch you fuck a girl?
Another dude.
All right, that's fucked up. Tosh, now you know.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's fucked
You want a
up.
third?
We've already talked about me servicing you, so why not just?
That's gonna
Jesus
be our
Christ.
new T-shirt. Natasha.
And now we're done.
I'm so happy to service you.
We can wrap this episode up right now.
No, but I feel I feel like that would be weird. Like, why not just like have sex if you want to watch porn that?
Well,
Sometimes
people
sex isn't
are
available.
not very good at getting that.
Some
so
people are not very good at sex. Some people are not very good at finding
Sometimes
women.
your partner's just not around when you want it.
Or
Yeah.
you don't have a partner at all because
Yeah.
of reasons.
Sometimes the Red River runs and she won't let you take the Brown Road home.
Ew.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
There's a lot going on here.
I'm done. I'm leaving. Let's
Yep.
sign
I
off.
meant
All
to
right,
say
man.
Dirt Road. My bad.
Yeah, well, that
I'm
was
like
TF4
that guy,
podcast.
when he's leaving.
Anyways,
I'm Vox.
no, shut up.
I'm Kara.
Are we actually done?
Probably.
How long has it been?
I'm going to do a good old Cars favorite where it's an hour and 35 minutes and it's almost 35 gig, which means it's going to take 3 hours to
We're
export.
doing fine.
So, yeah, I got nothing
What the
more
fuck
to
were
say.
we talking about before? Oh, so
Kicking
Google
Mark
Glass.
off the podcast.
We
That's
were
what
at
we're
a
talking about.
we were at a concert. It was We the Kings. We
Yeah.
went to the intersection and they told us ahead of time, hey, Travis is going to be wearing Google Glass. He's going to be recording the crowd during his performance for a video. And he came out and performed King of Hearts, and we're in the video.
Oh, that's cool.
And it was all shot with Google Glass. The whole video was shot with Google Glass. It was cool as shit. It actually turned out real nice. But like that's all Google Glass ended up being good for.
So I wonder if people, have you seen those videos where people ride roller coasters and
Yeah.
it's like POV? I
Yeah.
wonder if people wear.
Some of it probably is,
They
but
probably wear
I love
GoPros because you can
GoPros.
secure them.
I'm sure
the
GoPro
glasses,
is
they
most
like
of
even
it.
want you to take your regular glasses off when you're gonna go ride rides like that,
Yeah.
so they don't fall off your.
I'm
face.
sure GoPro is a lot of it. I mean, there's plenty
I've
of
never heard
cameras
of-
you can just hold on to and strap to your hand.
Yeah, or like a headband or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Box, you're so done.
Yeah, I'm done.
I
Yeah.
see it.
My-
He was out of it when
My
we
brain,
started
my
talking
brain's
about
starting to
porn.
melt a little here. It's been a
Nice
long
job,
day.
Fox.
It's been a long day. I'm surprised we made it this long, but
Well,
we're doing good.
thanks for watching TF4 Podcast. We'll say goodbye again. I'm
Or
Marcus.
listening. Some people might not watch.
I'm Marcus.
I already said goodbye. So.
I'm Natasha.
Yeah, I'm the other guy.
He's done.
Oh, what I want to do say though
Damn
is
it.
in case this in case this comes up, if you're not a patron, we do
We do?
we do
That's
have
a fact.
we do have Patreon exclusive content, which there might be one tonight. We don't even know what's happening yet, right? So there might be some, but $1 a month. That's all we're asking for. Shout out to Dustin. We mentioned you earlier. Sam, Mark's dad, is still a
My dad,
patron.
yeah.
Casey.
Nope. Just
Well-
Dustin and Sam. Yep.
Are you okay over there?
I'm rewinding.
Just Dustin and Sam. And then we have a Facebook and a YouTube, so you can check those out too. Goodbye.
And a Google Plus.
Well,
kidding.
before we
Goodbye.
before
Do you
we
remember
leave,
Google Plus?
That's a thing.
Oh God.
before we leave, because we didn't actually touch on the subject, we just want. I'm just saying this, and then we'll be done. We're thinking of everyone in Oxford
Oh.
and you know, we send all of our love to them. We don't pray, so I'm not going to say love and prayers, but
we all know people that are close.
Our hearts
to
go
that
out to
situation,
all
so.
the family,
Not
the
me.
victims,
Yeah,
and,
so
and the kids. And
we didn't want to make
et
it too
cetera.
political tonight, so
I know.
we just decided that we're just going to, you know, we're
Leave it
thinking
at
of you
that.
guys and
I love
everyone in high
politics.
school at the moment, too.
We'd
It's-
rather keep it more or less lighthearted
scary.
when we can.
Yeah.
Our lives are depressing enough. We don't want to make yours worse.
This is a heavy episode. Man.
Hey,
Mhm.
But we love you
This is
guys
heavy.
and
Shut up,
appreciate
Vaux.
you listening.
This is heavy.
we love y'all. Bye.
Bye.